And we're live.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It is a Monday, but it's not just any Monday. It's Monday, December 31st, 2018, which makes this a very special Violent Wrestling podcast. This is our 1 year anniversary episode of VWP. And as always, the founder, the, the originator of VWP, AA. What's up?
Hey, not much. Just relaxing and enjoying my drink.
Nice. And a third member of the awesome trio we are, Metal Matt.
Hey.
Hey. And we're going to be having guests in and out. One that we'll probably save from now until we end the show is a dear friend of all of ours, and you've heard his voice before. The one, the only, Mr. Cleveland himself, Adam Rice.
Happy New Year to everyone here, and Happy New Year to all of those watching. Me personally, I'm still an hour away from the ball dropping, but
That's what she said.
thank you, Matt. But to all of our listeners who may be in part of the world where the New Year's already come, Happy New Year to you all. And tell me, is it better than 2018?
And we're Matt and I are 2 hours away from our balls dropping, and AA's 3 hours away. But yes, for those that have already reached midnight, Happy New Year to you all. And I hope 2019 brings you great fortune and luck and all that stuff. Basically, what Adam said.
Thank you, Mox,
So
for that wonderful echo.
you hush your mouth, sir. This episode, just like our very first episode a year ago, we it was New Year's Eve and it was just AA and myself, and I was nervous. We were both drinking. We might have talked some wrestling, but we mainly just talked, and that's I guess what we're gonna do this year, just with more friends and a third co-host with us, and just enjoy the night since at least I myself don't do anything socially, so like this is my extent of my socialism is this. Like
Socialism.
socializing. You hush your mouth. It's a drinking night, damn it. Well, it's a drinking night every night, but it's y'all been asking for drunk mocks for a year. And for a year I've been saying it might come tonight. Shut up, Matt. You guys actually might get drunk mocks.
Doesn't sound like it.
Not yet. It's gonna be a long night though.
So, how do you guys want to kick off this New Year's Eve / 1 year anniversary edition of the VWP?
Um, AA, Matt.
I thought you had a plan,
Well, I do, but you guys have just as much say as I do.
but I don't have a plan.
Oh well.
I go with the 5 minute plan.
Well, I think to start off, to make sure we do get a little bit of wrestling talk in on this wrestling podcast, let's each of us give our.
Change your name to VEP, Violent Entertainment Podcast. We're an entertainment podcast. We're not wrestling.
Okay. To cover one of the many facets that this show covers, what are your guys' takeaway from the year in wrestling 2018?
Honestly, I don't think it was a very good year for the most part.
It was a good year for Seth Rollins.
Somebody's still salty about Becky losing the championship to Asuka. Damn. Sorry, bad joke.
I'm never gonna let that go.
Never gonna give you up.
Next, we'll be giving our music review. So stay tuned.
Oh, that's when Wing gets the invite to come in. He will give us his music reviews.
His top 5.
Still set to the NFL music.
He's not home tonight though, so he's like, I'll give my top 5, but I don't have my theme with me.
For me, when we talk about the year in 2018, when it comes to wrestling, there is some good, but there feels like there's a lot of bad in it. Between the big lion in the room being the stuff with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia for WWE, that cast a pall over the entire calendar that they made no attempts to shake between booking and all that stuff. It didn't make anybody feel good, basically. And what should be an entertainment.
And we got bald Shawn Michaels out of it.
Oh, goody. Bald Shawn Michaels.
Since obviously, remember the intro? Like, yes, he's from Cleveland, so he thinks negatively because that's what people from Cleveland do. I mean, they just have to. It's like an armor thing for them to, with their sports team sucking.
I'm not used to all this winning. Shut up, Mox.
I'll think positively about it. One of the things I'm going to take from 2018, wrestling wise, is and of course it started before 2018. Like it's been a slow wave that's just the outside of WWE wrestling becoming more of a forefront. Anything from New Japan coming to U.S. soil to the possibility of AEW, All Elite Wrestling, forming, to Rocky Mountain Pro having TV deals now in the UK, Canada, and now going into 2019, they have a deal for domestic distribution. Just there's always been wrestling outside of WWE, but now 2018 really brought the wrestling outside of WWE to. You can talk to wrestling fans that don't watch WWE, but they know this promotion, that promotion, kind of stuff, like more than before, and that's really cool.
Yeah.
Hey, what do you? Besides Seth Rollins having a good year, what do you take of 2018?
Well, you put in most creatively. And as I said, 2018, I spent most of my time with Rocky Mountain Pro, more than I did anything else. So I'm impressed with where they're going, what's going to happen in 2019. Just goes to show that hard work and having good storylines pays off.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's not a dig at WWE. That's a celebratory thing for wrestling fans overall, for all of us. Like, because okay, you're tired of WWE, or okay, you still watch WWE, but you want something different. It's literally all around.
You just have to be willing to find it.
Yes.
That's
and
it.
When you look for people like us, and that sounded kind of little kind of thing, and I didn't mean it to be. Like where we cover things like Rocky Mountain Pro, Dallas Championship Wrestling. Because I'm not gonna say it, All Star Wrestling. No, not the pay per view. Bayou Independent Wrestling, Rocky Mountain Pro Wrestling. Like we go out and we find these places and we review them. We watch their matches. They're on Facebook. They're on Twitch. They're on TV.
And I think what's important, and we could bring in WWE a little bit in on this particular conversation. 2018 has been a banner year for wrestling distribution.
Oh, definitely.
Between WWE getting the $1 billion deal to go to network television, which that's huge. That exposes, I mean, people know of WWE, and I don't know how many new viewers are going to get with this move to Fox, but there is no doubt that the money in the network that they're going to is big, and it's important. But outside of WWE, Rocky Mountain Pro getting U.S. distribution, Beyond Wrestling getting domestic distribution, which was just announced today.
Yeah.
What were the rumors we're hearing about AEW? Ring of Honor still having distribution.
Yes.
Not to mention your NJPW worlds, your Stardom worlds, your
and you've listed all those, and not Impact. Like Impact still
being on television. Yes, we can make fun of them for going to a channel that very few households have, and that is owned by their parent company. But still, Impact is on the air.
I'm going to have to debate the part of very few households have, because that channel's on Dish, that channel's on DirecTV, that channel's on Comcast, that channel. They're not, as far as household. Yes, it's an obscure channel, but their reach is, if not the same, it's actually more, because some of them didn't have Pop TV, which is the old TV Guide channel.
Correct, but I believe that the pure household number is smaller than the Pop TV number, I believe.
What channel is it?
It's the Pursuit channel.
Yes. It's the channel after beIN Sports.
Really?
Yeah, it's right.
Yes.
It's right in there with Matt. Do you have Dish?
Yeah.
Oh, it's right in there with the Outdoor channel, and it's in the. At least it's in the block. Like if you're scrolling the grid of what to watch, it's in a sports or that kind of block.
And Matt mentioning beIN, that's probably one of the biggest stories of the year that nobody talks about, with MLW getting that beIN TV deal, which is the only deal of its kind outside of WWE.
Which is another promotion.
And not only that, but they even had their first live special not that long ago.
On my birthday, December 14th.
Yep. And they were even doing a marathon of MLW right here, right now, on beIN Sports.
That's exactly my point, because we cover MLW every week, but there's so many that MLW is catching fire. Like people I didn't know watched anything outside of WWE or talking about MLW.
So what we've seen just within this calendar year, very few companies are going to get, well, this is obvious. But WWE got the deal they got because they're WWE.
Well, yes.
But underneath that surface, there is content being made that can be sold on certain avenues that will give these companies exposure, this talent exposure, and that is what's most important at the end of the day.
And this is all triggered from the WWE Network launching in 2012.
It's this
It's
what I would call a need for content.
this new horizon. Yes, there was IPVs before that, but now like your smaller players are seeing how you can get a channel, a platform like a Twitch or like your own
YouTube
network.
even. There are still promotions running their shows on YouTube. So
Yeah,
I apologize if I'm dominating conversation, but then again, I wouldn't be
what you do,
upset.
Cleveland Knights.
But to me, that is one of the best stories coming out of this year. Is that wrestling underneath WWE really is flourishing. No, there may not be the big money deals, but if you consistently put out product that people want to watch, the money might still come down the road.
Yes, and I got into a conversation about this very topic with good friend Craig from on KSI Teats in the daily and nightly about this very topic. No, Impact's not gonna, nobody's gonna come offer Impact $1 billion TV deal for a few years. Nobody, not now. Right now, it's the smart move to A, stay on TV, B, now you're off of Pop TV and that whatever weird contract that was where you're basically doing crap for free. You're not dying. You're still on TV. Work your way up. Nobody's gonna, come next Thursday after or the Thursday night that your Impact, whenever it is, that it airs on that channel. Like, oh, we want this and we'll pay $1 billion for it. That's not going to happen. But this is a good baby step.
Correct. And to transition a little bit, I want to go from wrestling taking this baby step to the giant leap this year that was taken by women's wrestling around the world. What we have seen
You beat me to it.
Is an absolute renaissance of women's wrestling. And believe it or not, this is something that WWE can be commended for a little bit. Now, it wasn't all roses this year between some of the handling of their talent. But what we have seen with Becky Lynch being the most over person in wrestling, I dare say, and coming down to seeing acts step up their game in the aftermath. I don't recall being this excited for women's wrestling since the Horsewomen call-up a few years back.
Would you say it's iconic?
No, Matt, I wouldn't, because what does that even mean? Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I just hurt his feelings. But you bring
They
up
had one of the best moments of 2018. WWE's Twitter told me so.
WWE's Twitter lied to you. But Matt brings up a good point in being that it hasn't all been great. The booking of the Iconics has been bad.
Yeah.
The absolute dismiss.
And that's the overall point. Like, wrestling this year in 2018 hasn't been all flowers and potpourri. Whose TV is so damn loud I can't hear myself? Matt.
No, that's not me.
Adam.
Not me.
Hey.
It could be me.
Are you watching Criminal Minds or something?
Nope.
Deadly Women?
Nope.
I think she's watching an old Raw.
Exactly.
Ah,
But as you were saying, Max,
yeah, it's not all flowers and potpourri. Like there's good and bad for 2018, and I lost my train of thought. But like with any there, but 2018 has been a fascinating year where there's the spectrum of awful to bad to good to actually great stuff around the wrestling world.
To the ugly.
was that a Clint Eastwood pun?
Yes.
Awesome. But no, you're right. With what we're seeing in WWE with Becky Lynch and Ronda Rousey having one of the biggest debuts in wrestling memory, and not only taking to it like a natural, but really succeeding in ring wise. Now, once again, I admit not all of it's been great, but you cannot discount what Ronda's impact has been, not just on this year, but on this push for women's wrestling. So, her coming into
Yeah,
the
even I
WWE,
have to give her some credit on that
I love
because just off the top of my head, I want to say, well, well, I'm old and decrepit, but yeah, you let me practice shit for a week, I could probably put on a somewhat of a decent match.
but at the end of the day, it isn't about the practicing. What is that reaction when you walk through the curtain?
And to be honest with you, it is so mixed with Ronda.
It is.
Like sometimes, yeah, she's don't give a damn about my reputation, and the crowd goes crazy. And then sometimes they're like, "Oh, Ronda's here."
But they have found something with this Becky Lynch Ronda thing. Yeah, they backed into it. I will admit, they backed into it.
That's what she said.
Hush.
Had to get it in before Matt did. That's what she said.
But what they have also managed to do, though, was cultivate an environment where that was able to happen.
Yes. And that doesn't happen without Ronda.
Doesn't happen without Ronda.
Not punch her in the face and leave her bloody 7 days out of every week. And without Ronda, it wouldn't be. There would still be a big deal to do about it because mainly Nia being Nia. And I'll just leave it at that. But the fact that this foreshadowed Becky and Ronda thing, yeah, that's a big deal.
And let's not forget how much of it, the flashpoint for all this was Charlotte. And let's also recognize that quietly, without really anybody any noticing, even talking about, 2018 might be Charlotte's best year in wrestling to date. Especially from an in-ring point of view. You can argue that her crowd reactions are not that great. And it's varied. But Charlotte she was just a ball gaining momentum. And by the time she hit Evolution, TLC, Survivor Series, it became a ball you couldn't stop. And what made it so good is because she was willing to go out there and just get her ass kicked. And that's something you have to commend her for here at the end of the year. And I see I'm alone on that take.
2018 will be the year I will always remember as well, for other reasons, but just particularly on this topic. I haven't like turned over completely, but okay, maybe I haven't given Charlotte enough credit the last few years. Like, okay, maybe I still don't like her. She's still overrated. But okay, she's not horrible, and it's not just woo, which is a lot of woo. But yeah, her moonsault's still like. But yeah, and not just the entire year, like just the last 4 months.
Working
Okay.
with Becky brought her up.
Do I know?
Working with Becky brought her up.
Yeah,
I'm dead serious about that too.
I think
Not even joking.
there's an equalness to saying Becky's innate this electricity to Becky helped raise Charlotte's game to where it needed to be, but none of that's happening without the flashpoint that Charlotte gave to Becky. Becky is just as crucial to what happened with Charlotte is just as crucial to Becky with what happened with her, with the turn, the cheers, the people galvanized behind Becky doesn't happen without replace Charlotte with anybody else. Is she going to get that reaction?
Sure.
no.
No, not even close.
No.
Becky needed Charlotte as much as Charlotte needed Becky. In this
To be revisionist, maybe if you took 2015 Bailey getting called up, or face boss and Peril situation, but as it stands with where everybody is currently, no.
And you brought up
I think the booking also has something to do with it as well.
Yes.
Well, booking has
They
everything
didn't
to do
book
with it.
Charlotte like a goddess. It probably wouldn't have happened the way it did.
Right. Like I said, they backed into a situation where Becky was able to get this galvanized heat, and then everyone went, we're tired of this other person getting on the brakes when we have this person that we've been cheering for months and months and months, and we've wanted to see have success. And then Charlotte is immediately put right back in the title picture. It was just this moment of, no, we're rejecting what we're seeing. But the rejection wasn't this, it wasn't negative. It wasn't negative. I mean, it was negative for Charlotte. But the rejection was, this is who we want. And this is the position we want her in. Listen to us. We want this to succeed. We want money to be made. Run with this girl. And I think WWE, it took them about a month and a half, 2 months, but when they finally started letting Becky run with it, especially on social media, I think it opened everyone's eyes to get us to where we are today. And I don't think that happens if Charlotte isn't that person they chose to put in that antagonist position. But Mox, you said something that's one of
apparently
the
not.
Shut up. You said something. What was that, Allie?
Can you send Whacked Out Wrestling a link?
Oh, Greenie.
Greenie, yeah.
Oh shit. I'm. If anybody's listening, Greenie and Wing. Sorry, and because I literally just posted our live link in the nightly. Damn it. I blame Rice. I blame Adam. If
That's
anything
fine.
wrong, it's like even if he has nothing to do with it, I always blame Rice.
No, you're supposed to blame Lana.
No.
Wait, we're not blaming Lana anymore?
Well, we could, but this one's on me. This shoot. But to piggyback off of the current conversation while I'm trying to figure out how to send links real quick. Not figure out, but actually do. There's no trying, there's only do, damn it. How much impact do the three of you think the Nia punch had with the storyline that's apparently moving forward? Like, how big was that Nia punch to Becky?
Matt, I'll let you take that.
I think it had a bit of an impact, but I don't think as big an impact as people might think.
What in the living hell?
That's Cassie scratching at the carpet.
That's not what it sounded like.
Give a fuck about Nia. This is like next. Okay, Cassie, we're not going to talk about Nia anymore.
It's more entertaining than watching Nia wrestle.
I think the Nia punch turned Becky from not just being this over baby face that people wanted to cheer. And I know this is a strong word to use, but I'm trying not to use it lightly. But it martyrized her. She became a martyr in this ever-evolving battle between the fans and the company. She gets put on the shelf, but before she gets put on the shelf, she gives us this iconic moment of her standing there with the bloodied face at the top of the stairs in the arena, like a Roman emperor looking over the Colosseum. It's not. It's just. It's a moment in time that you can't explain, and it becomes even more of a moment in time when you realize Becky was lights out. She didn't know where she was, what she was doing. It was all natural. It was all innate. It was instinct, and I think it just elevates the moment. Put Nia aside. Nia doesn't matter in this.
Yeah, it doesn't matter who threw the punch. It's the what happened afterwards. It could have been anybody in that ring. Anybody. It's not Nia sucks so bad. Look, she, was it a shoot? That it's not about that. Like at all. It's like you say, the iconics. It's the visual after.
Yeah, it's
Becky. To sum it up, you forget, and I say you forget like I'm talking to like somebody individually, but you can forget like there were other SmackDown superstars that showed up. You can forget all that. What you'll take from that, what you'll remember from that is bloody Becky still fighting, giving the works to Ronda after, her nose or her face is broken, whatever, and on the steps and raising her hand. That's what you take away from that. You don't, yes, everybody knows that it's Nia that threw the punch, but it doesn't matter who threw that punch in this instance. What matters is it. And I hate doing this. Oh, I hate myself for even bringing it up, but because they're doing so much, not WWE per se, but social media and people, Becky fans in general, are doing. Stone Cold. Well, the King of the Ring '97. Austin 3. You can have your John 3:16, but Austin 3:16 says, "I just kicked your ass."
96.
96. Sorry. Off the top of my head, a year off. And having some drinks. 96. But yes, like that. It's one of those things. And Austin 3:16 is still to this day the biggest thing that's ever happened in wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Until the man.
Hold your horses.
You mean until Seth Rollins?
Nice.
But you brought up a good point.
But let me finish real quick.
Please do.
A lot of people, and I dare to say majority of wrestling fans and people that aren't wrestling fans but watched it back then kind of thing, they know Austin 3:16. They have no idea who he wrestled in that match, where the saying came from. That's unimportant to Austin 3:16. That's not what made Austin 3:16 for the I hate using the word casual, but they know the shirt Austin 3:16. They know Austin 3:16. They might not know it means Austin just whooped your ass, but they know of. They have no idea that it involved Jake the Snake Roberts or anything like that. Am I making sense?
Plenty.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kinda.
Damn it.
But no, what you're saying is, would like that Austin promo. I remember that. I mean, I remember the words before that moment. You crawl into that cheap bottle of Thunderbird and find a little bit of what you used to be and all that. But it was John 3:16, Austin 3:16 said, "I'm here to kick your ass." What that moment did was it washed away everything else. It doesn't matter. That's
Yes.
Michael.
And
Literally, Michael Hayes is doing the interview. But it doesn't matter who that's Michael Hayes.
Nothing else mattered going forward after that moment. Just like with Becky bloody on the steps with her head, nothing else out of that moment really matters.
It all washed away. It didn't
Yes.
matter who was on Team SmackDown. Didn't matter who was on Team Raw. Doesn't matter what city they were in. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Because it's like a vacuum sucking all the air out of the room.
It's like the Browns getting their first win this year.
I wish I could disagree.
I'll have you know it was Doc Hendricks. Thank you very much.
Oh, shut up, McMahon.
Damn.
Yes, that is technically correct. But I kind of do want to, for as great as all that was, I do want to pivot to a couple things that wasn't great about women's wrestling this year. Because I think you can call this the year of women's wrestling, without a shadow of a doubt. And
Easily.
I know. Go ahead.
If you can't say this is the year of women's wrestling, you can definitely pinpoint this as the year. Moving forward, like going into 2019 and beyond, like this is definitely, yes, it did start a while back, but this is definitely, okay, now we're super serial about it. Like we're serious.
It's the watershed moment.
Yes, exactly.
And I know Matt's going to love this topic. This is also the year where the WWE completely botched the call-up of the Iconics
Yes.
and the complete devaluation of Sasha Banks and Bayley. All four of them mean absolutely nothing.
I disagree.
And like I've said many, many times on this podcast, the Iconics should be the easiest team to book in WWE. Literally the easiest team to book. And
But
they
man,
just can't do it. They are physically incapable of doing it.
but Matt, they literally just started women's tag teams.
And that's going to be the key going forward. We know what we're getting coming down the pike. So let's see if that changes. But as it stands right now, they did not. Let me first start with a team that actually kind of matters, and that's Sasha Bayley.
Oh damn, man! He just threw your Iconics just straight. Like the bus was already there, and Adam just went, "Here you go under it."
But seriously,
Well, here's the thing. Here's what I'm going to say. If you were just waiting for the tag team titles to come around, why not book them better so that when they do come, they can mean something?
absolutely.
That's what she said.
Did she?
Hell if I know.
Good to know. And you know what? And you know what, Matt? That point that you just made extends to Sasha Bayley.
Yes. And I made this argument in a conversation earlier. Not an argument, but like they obviously they've had the women's tag team titles in forethought for a while. But the year with the Iconics debuting, costing Charlotte the title, with the Bayley, Sasha, we friends, we not friends. Let's go to therapy. We friends, we not friends.
Oh,
Like that was so. Even if knowing down the line, like the end goal was tag team championships, those stories, especially the Sasha and Bayley, and more so with Sasha and Bayley, and even with the Iconics and how they've been booked. Like even if you knew the end goal was tag team titles in the future, a lot of that shit was unnecessary. A lot of it.
Yeah.
they literally had Kurt Angle say on television to Sasha and Bayley, "You guys won't survive Raw here on your own." To two women who could, between them, had at that point have 5 women's championships between them, but they can't make it on Raw. It undercuts 2 of your biggest stars. Now, I just came from a live event. I was at the WWE house show here in Columbus just this past.
We don't want to hear about your sex life, sir. Oh, you're talking about WWE live event.
Later.
Off air, sir. Off air.
The crowd still pops for Sasha Bayley, but that's not. The kids will love those dudes at the end of time. But
Yes.
but the issues I have, I was a VIP, so I got to go to the event early and get to the merch.
I'm so proud of you.
I had to be important somewhere in life.
You made it, Adam. You made it. Yes.
Yeah, thanks. when you go to the merch table, the only female wrestler who had merch that night was Ronda Rousey.
That's
Nothing-
fucked up.
Shameful.
Nothing for Bayley. Nothing for the Riot Squad. Nothing for anybody. Nothing for Becky, even though it was a Raw show. Nothing for Becky.
And
The
this
only-
was
Now, that's just cruel.
What was that, Max?
This was Columbus.
Yeah.
Hello, Alexa Bliss.
Nothing
Can't
for
put
Alexa.
another two for her.
Nothing for Alexa. Nothing for Dana, for that matter. And I know people will laugh at that, but she's from here too.
Well, true. But not laughing. But does Dana even have merch?
Probably not. But the only other piece of
It's that
female merch, I know, and I don't think she does. The only other piece of female merch there was Sasha's Stunner Shades. You're not promoting them. Sure, that you have the kids.
And people, that's what aggravates me so much about people using merch sales as a go-to for who's popular, who's, that kind of, like, how can somebody, how is that, the metric was the word I was trying to use. They use that as a metric of, like, how over somebody is, or, like, of course John Cena led merch sales. Fuck, he was WWE Shop for 10 years.
Exactly.
You couldn't go to WWEshop.com without page after page of John Cena merch. So find your little, the person you like merch, and maybe they don't have merch. Of course, that's how that works. So, but use that as a metric for how over somebody is, or how that's a bad metric to use as an argument, or as a. Am I making sense again? You guys are starting to get kind of drunk mucks. I'm still sound of mind, but But does that make sense? Like, of course, somebody that has so much merch is going to sell more merch. That's just how it works.
It's all about
if Morris had 10 shirts out, I have one. Just common sense. Who sells the most shirts?
Well, by numbers, it's going to be Morris.
I thought your jackass would say Emma. I just knew your jackass would say, well, Emma wins regardless.
By the way, wins the winner.
Shut your mouth.
But no, what you're saying is right. And my point is, if you're not selling them merch, if you're not giving them booking on TV, and I don't care that the tag titles are coming. You didn't put them in a position to succeed, and now we're going to go into 2019 with everybody kind of on this flat footing.
Right.
And
what's the merch like in Rocky Mountain Pro with you going to all the live events? Hey.
Yeah.
What's the merch like on Rocky Mountain Pro?
Well, you have what the individual has, and it's not I would say the Left Coast Gorillas probably have the most merch compared to everybody else.
Rightfully so, because Hoodie and Anaya would beat your ass if they didn't. Talking about two bad dudes that you might see in WWE one day, or hear of more than just AA and I talking about them. Hoodie and Anaya, holy crap. They're not only are they good, they have charisma, and that's what it takes anymore to. Well, that's what it took back then, was charisma.
I think
Hulk
charisma
Hogan
is
couldn't
still
wrestle for
important.
shit. He had charisma.
Well, they also have to know how to work the crowd. And Anaya
Yeah.
knows how to work the crowd.
Anaya's the best. Like he.
Yeah, but Hoodie's got the better Twitter game.
Oh yeah, exactly. Like Anaya's. Damn it, I don't want to say because I don't want. Like they know where I live, and I don't want Hoodie to show up at my house and like beat my ass. But they do have. Like they're both good in the ring. Anaya's Twitter game like is on point. Hoodie's like in-person game is on point.
But Hoodie's Twitter game is out of this world.
Oh, I got that backwards. Yeah, Hoodie doesn't give a shit. Like and you can tell like late night when Hoodie's had a few, if you will. Like Hoodie will just tweet nothing like racist or like, oh, I need to, screen grab this because he's going to delete it because it's inappropriate. Like he's appropriate. He goes to town with. He's like the lesser known Becky Lynch of recent months. Twitter doesn't give a shit, and he will talk shit like months before a match. If a match is made, he's talking shit about it on Twitter.
Social media has been such a big avenue for pro wrestlers this year.
I was gonna say 2018. Yes, that's another good thing out of good and bad.
Yes.
But there's been a lot of good social media interaction in 2018 for wrestling related.
Social media has become the avenue for wrestlers that things like promos used to be.
But for the love of God, can Ronda quit talking about people stealing panties?
Someone needs to steal Ronda's Twitter.
Anybody? Like Morris, where are you at? Like Morris, you could tweet better than Ronda.
But that social media presence has become such a big factor in connection with the fans. And it also helps them with the company a little bit because it shows any company, by the way. I'm not just tailoring this WWE. It shows promoters who can think, who has a way with words, who has that gift of talking. And when you see that on social media,
like you,
fine, I'll shut up.
Hey, I give you a compliment. The gift of talking. Damn it.
I could hear the little bit of sarcasm in your voice.
There's a slight sarcasm in there.
Yeah, don't lie. Yeah, don't try to lie. But it is given just another avenue for these guys to use, and I'm glad to see so many people taking advantage of it.
Yeah, fascination with eating and food and stuff.
I do.
He's just gonna flat it. I do. You got me there.
Yeah. But Becky Lynch being the banner, just oh my God, all the verbal takedowns. Ruby Riott had a very underrated social media game this year.
No. Let me correct you right there because I said this on the Cage Side Seats post about WWE crowning their king and queen of social media. The Riot Squad overall has had a banner year. Good, kayfabe or not, and even include Absolution. Well, they're not called that anymore, but
Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville.
Yeah, good grief, were they great at Twitter?
For the most part.
Well,
I'm not a fan of what they're doing with Mandy Rose. With where they seem to be going down there, but I'll leave that to another podcast.
Yeah,
Yeah,
same
that-
here. It's a rejected Attitude Era storyline, but that's the next podcast, I suppose.
Right. But
yeah, and we all when Mandy with the Tough Enough stuff and went to Total Divas before she ever made NXT or anything, like you could see the writing on the wall when they, her being best friends with Eva and stuff. Which bring back Eva Marie, like even if it's just a one-off at the Royal Rumble or whatever.
let's have some fun.
Yeah, like just
Eva Marie and fun in the same sentence.
happens every time they come together in the same sentence.
Oh, great, they're shooting off fireworks.
Oh, you should hear around here.
Yeah, they are too here as well.
They
I haven't
started
heard
last
of-
night.
But
And for those that don't know, like I live like in the middle of nowhere. Like literally, I have my house and like 3 acres of land. That's it. And then my closest neighbors are actually my wife's grandparents, which are catty corner to us, and they're 80s and stuff, so they're not doing it. But somebody on the opposite side of me is just like a forest kind of thing, and somebody went back there yesterday, and they've been doing it all night tonight, shooting off not just like pew 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 fireworks, but like huge boom fireworks. I'm surprised y'all haven't heard them. But yeah, we're getting close to Rice's New Year. We're 5 minutes away.
yeah, and now to kind of take a turn because we got into the topic of the Riot Squad there, and they're my ones to watch out for 2019.
Oh yeah, definitely.
They're all going to be champions, all of them, whether it's tag team or singles.
I was gonna say they're gonna. How are you gonna work all of them? 2 of them tag team and 1 Raw Women's Champion or SmackDown if they switch or whatever.
The real. I apologize. Quickly, not quickly, but who are your guys? Some of the people you guys are going to be looking out for in the year 2019 as someone who's not already a star, but someone who might get that big break in 2019. And no, Matt, you can't say Becky.
Becky.
God,
Hey, who are you keeping your eyes on and going into the new year?
I'm really not keeping my eyes on anyone. I'm going to let them surprise me.
probably a good
Sorry,
one.
Rocky Mountain Pro. I tried.
Now, if it's Rocky Mountain Pro, that's a whole different ballgame.
We're talking all of wrestling.
But talking of all of wrestling, I expect to see a lot more out of Atiba.
Oh, Atiba's so good. He just became the Rocky Mountain Pro heavyweight champion.
Yep.
Oh, so good. That kid's got it, man. Like, Atiba might not make it the year in Rocky Mountain Pro before somebody like WWE comes and says, hey, come here. Atiba's good. He's really good. And he's only, like 23?
No, he's 18, he's 19.
19, yeah. Dude is good. Really good. It's one of those Adam brought up earlier, like you get it or you don't. Like
He
he
gets it.
gets it.
I haven't heard him
He's
do a
a
lot of
younger-
promos yet.
That's the one thing I've been. Well, for one, Rocky Mountain Pro doesn't do a lot of promo stuff, but if his promo is half as good as he can do in the ring. Dude is going places.
We have a new guest.
Yep.
Oh,
Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year.
Sorry about
New Year.
the wait on these ones. So,
oh, that's my fault. I sent you the channel instead of the link.
mhm. Yeah.
This is Greeny, everyone. Brought you up earlier as somebody that would be on, and then spent almost an hour, and then like, oh shit, I forgot to send invites out, and then oh shit, I sent invites out, but they're to the channel or the pod itself, and not the link to get in. My bad.
Yeah. Well, at least it works on this one since in just about 2 minutes on the East Coast, it will officially be over. And like most of these things, that it was a long October till December, but there's reason to believe maybe this year will be better than the last.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Wake me up when September ends.
I think that ended 3 months ago.
Yeah.
You've really been asleep for a long time.
Yeah. So, what's up with you, Granny?
Nothing much for the most part. For the most part on it. Luckily, I had enough time to try and decompress on it after the Christmas rush. Because if you thought GameStop was bad, try Walmart. So.
Oh, hell on earth. Hell on earth.
Yes, it was at that time where you just knew you were at your edge. So.
Just a quick recap. I'll ask you 2 questions in one. Wrestling related. Your 2018 good and bad.
Okay, the good thing about it was the fact that 2018 is about to end. That's pretty much the best part of it because this was a terrible year for wrestling. There was just so many things that
That's
were.
the good part.
Exactly what I said.
Yeah.
And it is officially 2019 on the East Coast.
Huzzah!
Happy New Year, Rice and Granny.
Yep.
Yeah, I still got 2 hours.
4, 3, 2, 1. I'm counting down with the clock on one of the New Year special. It's officially Happy New Year.
It's 12 o'clock on my clock right now because I get Sling TV, so I don't get the New Year's channel. So.
Well, neither one of you fuckers are kissing me, so Happy New Year's.
Well, that kind of ruins all my plans.
Damn it. Are we going back to, like, the money? Like.
Hey, look, I'm just saying.
Anyway, I'm sorry, Granny. Happy New Year, you East Coasters.
And what's your 2018 bad, Greeny?
I'm not really sure I want to hear Granny's worst moments if his good moments were bad.
Okay. Where can I start on this one? Is it the fact that Impact lost its time slot to a smaller network, so they were on the rise and they look like they're going to fall out? Is it the fact that Ring of Honor looks like they're probably going to close this year? Is it the fact that New Japan's momentum's probably going to come to a screeching halt in 3 hours because it's probably going to be when they announce All Elite Wrestling? Or is it the fact that the face of the WWE got leukemia? A lot of different bads that you can think of here.
Yeah, that we didn't get to that last one yet, but
I was gonna save that for later. Bueller?
No.
The point is that there was a lot of stuff that was bad, and a lot of stuff that was worse on it. But the worst part on it was the fact that the shows basically were almost the same thing every different week. They got past we want to entertain, we got to pay for us. This is a show. This is what you use to waste 3 hours of your life you'll never get back. You are entertained.
We were talking more about this before we got here. I won't say the year was a total loss, like we were talking about earlier. We got to see the emergence of Becky Lynch. We got to see more distribution out there for smaller wrestling companies, which I think is always a good sign.
Yeah, but even then, even with those, I think that we're going to see a better 2019 than this. It's clear that WWE seems to be turning the corner. It's not there yet, but it's clear that something's happening. You've got the fact that All Elite Wrestling is probably going to open, so there's going to be another big national one. The news today, Beyond Wrestling is going to have their own channel and add more wrestling to getting a streaming TV show, which helps. And if there's a streaming TV show there's a chance other promotions could get the same. So there's enough to say that 2019 is going to be really, really good, is what it comes down to.
Absolutely. Before you hopped on, Greedy, I just kind of asked the group here, who is someone under the radar that you're looking at in 2019 to have a big year?
Alley Cat. That was the pick from Whacked Out Wrestling for who's probably going to break out in 2019. Like, I know she's works in Rocky Mountain Pro as Aligato and works in Nova Pro that Duke's been telling me is so good. And it just seems like it's inevitable. She's going to get into Shimmer and she's going to be one of the next big women who works everywhere. So
that's a good shout.
Mm-hmm.
Matt, I know I gave you a little bit of a hard time with that question, but who's your 2019 one to watch?
One to watch in 2019.
Honestly, I'd go with Ruby Riott. I think she's going to have a big year. Honestly, I'm calling it now. At some point in 2019, Ruby Riott will become women's champion on either Raw or SmackDown.
I agree.
Honestly, with the fact that they've changed up things on this one, I could see anybody on the roster having a good year. So this looks like they're willing to shake things up and make it so that any talent could rise to the top. And so I really can't answer who the one to watch will be for this year. Like I said, the one to watch right now is going to probably be the Elite, because whatever happens with All Elite Wrestling is going to be what changes the landscape and really makes the whole thing shake up.
Well, that's the hope. But I think I don't want to pump up the balloon on All Elite Wrestling just yet, because yes, they have a big money backer, and yes, they have, outside of WWE, one of the most popular acts in wrestling. But you still need a lot more than that.
Well, that I agree, but like I said, the point is that not for those ones, but what's one to watch right now? And right now, the climate in wrestling is the point where I just don't know who could, because I could see a big year from anybody on the national circuit this year. WWE is trying to shake things up and give lower carders more of a chance. You've got Impact, which has found a way to handle things to get any names a chance. You've got rising stuff with independentwrestling.tv, so there's chances there, and Twitch for things like that. You've got All Elite Wrestling on it, and with all these things going on, really anybody on the scene could break out this year. But if I had to pick one thing on this one, I'd probably say women's tag team division is going to be the breakout thing for it anyway. You've already got a great nucleus there, and you've got at least 3 teams right now in Boston Hug, the Riot Squad, and the Iconics, who I think all 3 of them will probably get a title reign next year. And then you've got you're probably going to see the other 2 horsewomen and possibly Nia and Tamina in the mix, but there's still going to be cases where that's probably going to be the next thing to watch next year.
Is 2019, and this is to the group, is 2019 the year we finally see some real movement on that feud everyone's been talking about, the one we haven't got yet? Horsewoman versus Horsewoman. Is 2019 the year?
Probably, but I hope not.
I think it's inevitable enough so that, yeah, we're probably going to see it. So, and honestly, go with it.
I don't know, we're all a little iffy on a couple of the participants here, and Jessamine Duke and Marina Shafir.
Well, I will give credit on this one where apparently they've taken to it really fast in the Performance Center. And if you take to it really fast, that's a good sign that they may not be great now, but in a year or two, they'll probably be really good. So that's a plus as well. And of course, you have the benefits that Duke apparently is the one who likes wrestling the most of the four horsemen and got the other three into it. And she's proven she has some charisma, so she knows how to be a wrestler there. Shafir, at least, she wasn't that good in MMA performer as well, but she's apparently taking to it. She has the Roderick Strong factor to help train her as well, so there's enough cases that both of them will probably be pretty good.
Yeah.
And we've seen that Shayna Baszler has become very good, and Ronda Rousey. It's basically the question: who's your 2018 Rookie of the Year, and why is it Ronda Rousey? So,
Yeah, that's absolutely. Ronda is the Rookie of the Year. There's no doubt. Mox, where do you stand on Horsewoman in an overall sense going into 2019? And his mic's muted. Okay.
Hey, real quick, if everybody can stop for a second. Hold on 1 second.
Oh no.
Hi.
hey,
Hey.
Hey.
Hello.
Happy New Year, Morris.
Happy New Year, Morris.
Did
Thank
you
you.
did you like the doll I got you?
Yes.
Excellent. Still waiting for what you pick out for me. So just hoping that it's something good. So
Okay.
No, we haven't picked out. He's
We haven't picked out. Don't worry.
don't worry. My
Be up
birthday's
there
in
in a couple
January,
days.
so it's not really like you're late either. So
Well-
Yeah. It'll be up there in a couple of days.
okay, thank you.
better wear it with pride.
I always do. Heck, I wear everything with pride.
He's
I
looking
even
at
bought-
who's on. It's AA.
I know everybody.
You know everybody. Okay.
Uh,
Wait, the icon's at the bottom. He's looking at.
Mhm.
What was your
I
favorite
don't
part
see
of
Billy
2000?
Payne that anywhere.
My favorite part of 2018 was the end of it.
The end of it?
The,
Dude, you're 9. Your favorite part of the year is not supposed to be the end of it.
that makes the favorite is December.
Your
Yeah.
And
Well,
the whole
judging
month
that
of
you
December
got
that
that
happened.
PlayStation, of course it would be pretty easy for the end of it
Yeah,
to be good.
it's the PlayStation, of course.
Yeah.
You're okay. What about wrestling related? What was your favorite part about 2018?
WrestleMania was pretty good.
WrestleMania was pretty good.
Yeah. Royal Rumble was good.
Royal Rumble was good.
SummerSlam, of course, that was good. Especially Survivor Series, that was crazy.
What was crazy about Survivor Series?
I don't know.
You don't know? Okay, what part of 2018 and wrestling related didn't you like?
I didn't like that everybody was getting hurt.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of injuries this year.
What was your guys' favorite part of 2018?
Just briefly, guys, real quick, like a synopsis kind of thing. Like,
Well,
by one,
basically,
what's your favorite?
we're all older people, so what matters more is what kids think about wrestling. Because at its heart, wrestling, we're just a bunch of pathetic old people talking about a kids show. So
We're all grown adults on New Year's Eve on a podcast. Like,
yes, talking
That
about
makes
kids
perfect
TV
sense.
show.
That makes perfect sense.
Morris, that makes perfect sense. He's basically saying, you guys have no life. Like, yes,
Well, of course,
we know.
he has a girlfriend. We
Yeah.
don't. So
This is your first anniversary.
Oh, yes, it is. This is our anniversary show. Oh.
Mhm.
And why are you blushing and getting shy? Okay. Well, say goodnight to everybody and whatnot, and I'll go
Good
back
night
out.
and have a good, happy
Good
New
night,
Year.
Morris.
Good
night,
night, Morris.
Night, Morris.
night.
Bye, Mr. Adam. Bye, Mr. Matt. Bye, AA.
Bye.
Bye.
Yep,
He went one by one and told y'all bye. Oh.
yep.
Okay, I'm getting back outside.
Well, it does
Yeah.
work on these ones because, again, this is the one thing that's great when Morris is on because you need to know what kids think about the show more than anything else because kids don't care about what's going on behind the scenes, and that's always a question where you got to ask, does this make sense even in kayfabe and stuff like that?
I don't know if you guys
Right.
hear
That's.
fireworks are going off here.
I know. I'm not taking it. I just need it for a second. Thank you, though. Jackass. 12:01. Oh. Hold on one more second.
But let me still play my game.
I need help. Pause it. Hello.
Hello, how's it going?
Hello?
Happy New Year.
Well, Happy New Year to you too.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Yep,
They
happy
know
New Year.
Thank you. They know I'm your mom.
Yep.
Man.
They all know that I'm your mother.
Mhm.
Everybody just remind you to be in here at before 12 o'clock.
Yep.
I'm just playing hockey. Come on.
Nobody wants to hear hockey.
Dang it. Fall back. I'm winning by 5.
Where did your dad go?
I don't know. People could want to hear hockey because, after all, it's basically a sport with people hate the top stars in the company just because they're the top stars in the company, and you're watching it for the fight. That's just like wrestling in a way.
PlayStation games.
Yep.
He's been playing it for hours.
Yeah. Well, if you just got the PlayStation, of course you're going to play it for hours. So.
Mhm.
Go!
He'll be done soon, I hope. So I can play.
Yeah.
I just gotta go. It's 6-0. I'm whooping Dallas's butt.
Morris.
Don't worry. We all noticed that there's a problem with whooping Dallas. So.
I don't have the ball. It's not a ball, it's a puck.
I'm just shooting the puck everywhere.
That was on accident. I flipped in the
Yeah,
ball.
I heard the horn honk. I was
Yeah.
like, you
No.
need something?
No, I
You like your
slipped,
phone?
I slipped in the mud.
You slipped in the mud?
Yes. It's still
In your new
raining.
shoes.
Yeah. So what's your favorite and not so favorite part of 2018? Wrestling related.
Oh,
What's your favorite part of 2018?
do I have to have a favorite part?
No, you don't. But they love to put you on the spot.
Nothing is
That is actually the most
No.
honest answer.
No. No, no. Dean Ambrose coming back. That was my favorite part.
Thank you.
Because best part of wrestling is Dean Ambrose. The worst part is Brock Lesnar didn't go away and stay away.
Thank you.
Oh, damn.
He
Damn.
should have stayed away.
Yeah, I agree with her.
He's awful.
Yep.
Did you say
Yeah, no.
she's awful?
He's just ugh. No reason he should be a champ.
Needs to be suspended.
At least,
Oh, damn.
yeah,
Moore's
right.
dropping the bombs.
Say, come out there and say you're fired or something.
I've
But
got
yeah, I was just out in the rain, like slipping in mud, honking horns. You know, don't come check on me or anything.
Oh, and I got to see Free Bella on my TV.
oh go.
That was great.
I can't believe neither one of y'all brought up. Hello, y'all went to a live show this year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're just gonna go. It's
But-
7 to nothing.
Ooh.
I
Well,
like-
Seth Rollins back the good part, yeah.
I can't tell because you sent me a lot of pictures of Finn Balor in his trunks.
Well, yeah, because he's pretty to look at.
Yes, he is.
Yes, but he has nothing on Dean Ambrose.
Oh, fight.
That is so true. I agree with you 100,000%.
There's wow.
But did you have fun at the show?
Oh, I did. Loved it. I want to go back when
I
they're
can't believe you bought a Mower lawn shirt.
because I love Matt Hardy.
I know.
Oh, I just beat the crap out of him.
I will always love Matt Hardy.
Hey, in hockey, I just
Him and his pudgy belly.
I just beat the crap out of someone.
Morris is playing NHL
Oh, yeah.
hockey on PlayStation.
Oh,
And I just beat someone up. That's just
So,
punching
anything
him.
else before I go back outside? Hopefully this time I don't fall and need an ambulance or anything.
no,
Not like you're gonna
okay.
check me.
I'm not going out. I don't have no shoes on. Okay.
Anything else, guys? Morris, Candace,
No.
or wife? Like nobody knows.
Oh, heck no.
Oh, they know my name now, huh?
Sorry.
I don't care.
Oh, fight.
I think the only one that might not have known your name was Greenie.
What?
And
Oh, what?
what?
Okay.
Y'all good?
Yep.
Morris,
See?
Candace, you got.
That's good.
I see you're winning as the Rangers 6-0. I see.
And I just beat number 6.
No, that's me slipping in the mud that stinks.
Sure, it's mud.
Okay, where were we? Sorry.
Oh, and I just asked.
It didn't work, so I just brought the phone inside and
No problem.
What I asked right before you came back was, where do you stand going into 2019 on horsewoman versus horsewoman? Is it going to happen, or will they start the build? Mox.
repeat the question, please. Sorry.
It's okay. 2019 horsewoman versus horsewoman. Is this
Yes.
is it going to start this year, or is it going to be? Is it going to happen within the calendar year, or are they going to start the build within the calendar year? Basically, what I'm asking.
They're gonna start to build the actual horsewomen versus horsewomen. Shouldn't happen this year. They'll start to build. Hopefully, they don't do like a Survivor Series scenario. But the build's definitely going to get started this year.
Well, honestly, I don't know, because even then, if I had to think of some of my predictions on it, one of my hot takes for the year in predictions would be that WrestleMania this year is ended by the Four Horsemen of WWE having a Guerrero/Stevie Richards style celebration in the ring to end the WrestleMania on it.
Oh, Stevie Richards, he's still good looking. Oh yeah. Hey, I saw
Hey.
Stevie Richards back in August, and man, does he look good.
Well, I'm not denying Stevie Richards was good on it, but
He's replacing Chris Benoit's name.
yeah. And despite the fact that the Horsewomen have this celebration to end WrestleMania, one of the Horsewomen jumps from the company. So I think that they're going to try Horsewomen versus Horsewomen, but I think that not all four horsemen of WWE last until the end of 2019.
Who do you
Who
think
would think
leaves?
for?
Which
That's a bold statement.
Yep.
Who's leaving?
If I had to pick one of the four, my gut tells me Sasha.
I think
No way.
I don't think so because Sasha in
Just
that
this summer, she signed a long-term contract.
Then if
Yeah.
it's not Sasha, probably Bailey. But I'd assume it'd probably be one of those two. Would be most likely.
No.
all I want to say is this: they are WWE personified. I know Bailey spent time on the Indies, but this is where she wants to be.
Yeah.
And so I have a hard time seeing Bailey leaving. I know Sasha said in that cooking show with Kathy Kelly that WWE's it for her. She has no other goals outside of WWE.
We're using cooking shows as references.
I'm taking Sasha and what she said.
I
Yeah.
know. I was making a bad joke. But no, you go down the... If anything, it might be the other side of somebody leaving, the other side of the horsewomen leaving in 2019. It won't be Sasha, Bailey, Becky, or Charlotte.
Well, there was the rumors back in April or May that apparently Ronda Rousey only signed a 1-year deal that expires at WrestleMania, and you could absolutely buy Rousey saying, "Okay, I'll work a year, then I'm retiring to start a family, but I'll work this 1 year just to make sure that my friends get a WWE contract." So
I could
And-
absolutely see Ronda walking away.
Yeah, and that same day, the rumors of she signed a, what was it, 2-year or 3-year deal? I think it was 2, where she wanted to start a family and stuff. I think that's the same day both of those rumors came out.
So I think that this year will help things if it does, because of the fact that now we're seeing that there's a lot of mothers in the WWE women's division where usually there wasn't before. And so we're seeing that having a family is not the end of your career as well. So that is one good plus of the year.
Yeah, right.
Absolutely.
And shit, what was it? They earlier tonight they replayed shit. See? AA, Matt, blame you guys.
Why us?
Because y'all want me to drink. What was it? The episode? Oh, Blackish. Old episode of Blackish where she gets pregnant again with her fourth child, but she is trying to hide it from where she's trying to go for partner in the hospital. And in my head, this makes sense. It's probably not making sense out loud, but yeah, absolutely. I mean, the point of the episode of the Blackish rerun was, married, pregnant, women are women. They can have a baby, and they're still just as they were. I don't know if anybody on here has seen that episode, so I'm literally probably not making any sense.
Yeah, I don't really watch TV stuff, so
I want everyone to know that in our chat tonight, Taker's Minion, our friend, the godfather of Los Ingobernables de podcast, is listening. So to Taker's Minion, Happy New Year from all of us.
Happy New Year.
Iconics roll taker.
He's got 30 minutes to go, jackass. I always have to give him crap.
Well, that's the problem. You keep saying that everybody else has a different time to go for this one. like the great Rhode Island time traveler Marvin Barnes. Why am I on this time machine?
I don't know if anyone's keeping an eye on chat tonight, but TM says he's put something in there for us, so I don't know who's able to view that.
That's supposed to be AA's job, but
I'm watching it, and all he said so far was Happy New Year's, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then, Mazel Tov. Is there anything about 2019 or the year in review on 2018 you guys specifically want to mention?
I don't mean to hog the conversation. I don't mean to pull an Adam here.
Yes, you do.
I love you too.
Mm-hmm.
Tony Storm 2000. You shut your mouth, sir.
Continue.
I'll let you laugh. Let me know when you're done.
I'm done.
Just need to know what you're talking about with Tony Storm here for 2019 to make sure. So,
Damn, both of you. Tony Storm 2019 is going to be her year.
mm-hmm. I could
Yeah.
absolutely see it. So,
And since you brought up Tony Storm,
Oh God.
I guess you might as well mention a quick current event.
Mhm.
Last night, unfortunately, there were more leaks of a personal nature that hit the internet. This time involving Tony Storm, and once again involving, unfortunately, Charlotte Flair. We've said it before, but it needs said again. This shit needs to stop.
Mhm.
This is a gross invasion of privacy. It is, if you're sharing it, if you're putting it out there on social media, you're part of the problem.
No. Let's go back to the hacking. If
Yeah.
you're hacking, excuse me. If you're hacking, you're not part of the problem. You are the problem.
Mhm.
There's no cause to try to break into somebody's iCloud account because you're only after one thing, and none of it's good.
yeah.
And this time in particular with Charlotte, it is very concerning that this picture seems to have leaked from backstage itself.
Mm-hmm.
If that is Charlotte in the picture, and that did happen backstage at a WWE event, the WWE must step in and press charges against the perpetrators if they can locate them.
Mm-hmm.
This is not just an invasion of privacy, it is invasion of the workplace. All of those guys and girls need to be able to feel safe and secure in that environment. And if that is lost, you lose something important that will eventually have direct repercussions on the product.
Yeah.
And this is beyond the scope of wrestling. This is just like human decency. Like us as a society should be better than this.
We should.
We should be. I know we can't be, but we should be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but honestly, I think that's going to be the question mark because eventually there is a point where you can't really change the nature of things, and it's not even human nature here. It's animal nature. It's plant nature. It's the nature is to if you're attracted to someone, you're gonna want to see these things and sexualize them, and it's something that needs to be stopped and make it sure is if you do this, then get their consent. Be willing to only do this if they say, yes, you can do that. There's a
Right.
world difference between that ESPN the magazine shoot of Charlotte Flair, where she let the world see her naked, and these pictures where she did not let you see these.
And that's there's not just a step of difference. There's a world of difference of like China doing porn with her consent, making money off of it versus the Page stuff that came out a couple years ago.
Mhm.
Like there's even on the moon with no gravity, you can't make that leap of they're the same. Like no, that you can't. And the only people that can say, like, because unfortunately I still have to have Facebook because I have my aunt and stuff that have Facebook, so I have to have Facebook. And the leap that people make from like a consensual sex tape to my privacy was invaded sex tape kind of thing, and they don't know the difference. And it's astonishing. Fuck it. It's overwhelming to me, the people that don't get the difference of, hey, I got paid for this, I consent to this, I'm okay with it, to I did this privately, somebody hacked me, and now it's out there.
Mhm.
And people correlate the two as they both had, there's sex tapes out there
Mhm.
that they're quite different.
Basically, I mean, there are degrees between, and let's also get this on the table and let's make sure. If you need that, there are places to go where consenting people handle themselves. Fuck it, it's 2019. I can say it. There's places to go see porn, people. It's on the internet. You're on your computer. If you are listening to this from your computer right now, you can find porn. It's not a problem.
Yeah.
Any recommendations?
Later.
Holy fuck! Holy fuck!
Honestly, giving this
Pop this in 2019, and we just got comment of the year 2018. Holy fuck! Oh yeah! Oh Matt! Oh shit!
You just made his year.
Holy fuck! 25 minutes ago, and Matt literally just made comment of the entire year. Holy shit!
what was it?
Any recommendations?
Yeah, Matt just kind of knocked the ball out of the park there.
Yes. That was probably
Oh, one year anniversary. Shut it down. There will be no more. Like this is it.
yeah, that's
Pinnacle.
one of the things that works on it, because even beyond the fact of is it consensual, is it leaked, there's still something to learn on this one. And if you're telling people you watch certain things of porn, and you're openly saying that in company that does not want to know about this, you're probably a creep. Simple as that. This is the type of thing you keep silent what your preferences are. That's the type of thing you say only if you're in a committed relationship and trying to tell people this is the type of stuff I like. You don't tell this to everybody on these things. You don't tell it on podcasts. You don't tell it to friends on stuff like that. I still look sideways on some friends who told me what porn stars they like on them. So if you have these things, you might want to keep that to yourself.
But it's not. That's not an anti-porn thing. It's an It's just what you want to know, what you do or don't want to know about people. But
Yeah,
my point is,
there's a difference between being anti-porn and having an invasion of privacy. There's two
Exactly.
completely different things.
and
Yeah.
this also isn't a discussion about porn and sex workers and all that. Then this is simply about
No, it's laying that on New Year's because
well, but it's
Adam, I'm just gonna say this and I'll leave it alone. I love you.
I love you too. But it's what we have here. Once again, it's all about invasion of privacy and consent. No one would consent to having their iClouds hacked. No one would consent to having these pictures out. Toni Storm took the pictures she took and probably sent them to somebody who she was in a relationship with or something. That's one thing. And that is something on its face benign. Not the invasion of privacy isn't benign, but the pictures and the purpose. What happened to Charlotte in this instance is degrees of magnitudes worse.
Who said it's just degrees of magnitude worse on Charlotte's? Because from rumors on the circulating things on it, there were pictures.
Well, first of all, are we talking about the initial ones where she was literally taking pictures from her surgery?
No,
are there new ones?
There are new ones. There are new ones from what I
Granny, you said a little too quick.
yeah. From what I understand.
No comment on these ones.
From what I understand, these are pictures of Charlotte coming out of a bathroom backstage in a backstage environment, and she did not have a shirt on.
Yeah. And likewise, what I was saying, even from those, from rumors circulating that from the places where angels fear to tread on these ones, allegedly in the Toni Storm case, the person who's been leaking her and a number of other workers on the UK indie scene is another wrestler on the UK who's been doing this stuff. And if they do this, they should find that person and they should blackball them from the industry.
Absolutely. If you are
if it's backstage, that's coming from somebody inside the company.
Or someone
that's
at the very least.
Like you hacked somebody's phone and found. No, that's coming from.
That's coming from somebody the company trusts to be in that area. And that is the fact that this could possibly have happened, because I do know some people are saying that is not Charlotte in the picture. If it is, there needs to be an investigation by WWE, by law enforcement.
And it's not only like somebody posted it, somebody took it.
Yeah. And even if it is, it's still going to be a problem because despite what we think with how many tall, statuesque blondes are there, Charlotte Flair is a pretty recognizable person. Like, if it's her, we probably know it's her. So.
Yes. But
it's like the same thing with the famous Hulk Hogan sex tape where they were saying it was like, Hulk Hogan, you are one of the most recognizable human beings on the entire planet. We know it was you. There is no one else who looks like Hulk Hogan.
Oh, but on testimony, his dick is different.
No,
why did you have to bring that up?
It's literally in transcription.
Yes, apparently Terry Bollea and Hulk Hogan, two different people.
No, not necessarily two different people, two different dicks.
So does that mean we need to know about the size of David Bautista as well as Batista?
Why would you even?
No, because he wasn't sworn under oath to talk about his penis size. Terry Bollea was
Well, I
under
didn't-
oath.
As judge, that is, but still.
Let's move on to a brighter topic.
Yeah, please.
Because my
Wow.
eye, I think I just went temporarily blind.
Yeah, like I had no idea about any of this stuff coming out.
Yeah, it hit late last night, but I digress.
Typical Cleveland.
Shut up. What is something? Let's point to something positive.
Oh, damn it!
Because I
I'm
mean-
not making the joke. I'm not making the joke. I'm not making the joke.
You hush. Despite the recent news with their TV deal, TNA did manage to put together a very good televised product this year.
Mm-hmm.
Shocking to everybody, but they did manage to put something together that I think people generally liked.
Mm-hmm.
You broke there for a second. Are we talking about Impact?
Yes, sorry, Impact. I said TNA. My fault, people.
Boo!
Yeah. Impact did put out a product that I think people liked this year. They kind of clawed themselves out of the gutter again.
Mm-hmm.
I dare to say there's two runnings. As much as I love Rocky Mountain Pro and how awesome Rocky Mountain Pro has been, I dare say the runnings for flourishing and reinvigorating themselves is Impact and MOW.
Well,
Yes.
at least the difference is that MLW never really left as much as they ran out of money, but now they've got money again, so they could keep going back to it and be good again. But it's still the same MLW that was good before. With Impact, it was also the renovation of it was this was the first year when Impact's ownership and Impact as a whole finally said, you know what? Fuck the WWE. Let's just be a good promotion on our own and not care about it. Let's just be another indie promotion and not try to beat the WWE, try to be a national promotion. Yeah. And that's what they should have been doing since 2002. If they did that, they probably would be at WWE's level by now.
Well, technically, in the early aughts, they did try, and then the tens hit, and holy fuck, like there's a debate of the 2010s TNA versus the late 2000 WCW or the late 90s, early 2000s WCW, like which was worse. But yeah, they really righted the ship. The only problem with that is you still get people that don't watch and just assume, laugh out loud, LOL, TNA.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't watch it. They don't keep up with it. They just assume. And Impact is actually really good.
Yeah, but that also ties to another thing that goes in where it's why the WWE is usually managed to know just when the fans are starting to lose trust and tries to make changes relatively quickly, because if you lose trust very soon, it's very hard to get it back. It's the same thing in any.
That's their struggle right now, is getting trust back and viewership. That is absolutely right. That is their problem right now. Is we went through years and years and almost 2 decades of laugh out loud TNA to like, okay, they're actually really good now. Give them a shot.
Yeah,
kind of thing. And
nobody. Thing.
Some people are giving them a shot, but the vocal majority are not giving them a shot. Like, just give it one episode. Like, give it one episode, even if you have to do it in a nefarious way to do a pay-per-view, like a Bound for Glory, or give it a try. Like they're not the same Hulk Hogan, Dixie Carter,
Yeah.
Eric Bischoff, Jeff Jarrett, shit that
Yeah,
like,
but
they're really good now.
yeah, but even then, even with they're not the same Hulk Hogan, Jeff Jarrett, Eric Bischoff, Dixie Carter shit in there because what they have been is the Alberto El Patron, Austin Aries shit,
Yeah,
which is the same shit, but it's on a lower scale.
But you know, the saving grace in TNA really has been the saving grace for many promotions, including WWE.
Mhm.
Their women's division has been pretty fire.
Yeah,
oh, definitely.
Between
That has, in my opinion, that has kept them afloat.
between Allie and Rosemary, they brought in Sue Young. I think we're finally seeing a mature Tessa Blanchard.
hmm
I hope we're seeing a mature Tessa Blanchard.
yeah. But that's always
Um,
been the thing which hurt TNA into that 2010s one where TNA was like the Oakland A's of the 2000s, basically. It wasn't so much that they were great in this one, but they exploited a market inefficiency and were able to have people helpless for a few years with it. When they started, they built around the X division because they exploited the market inefficiency. Wait a second, WWE's ignoring the indies. We should sign all these great indie guys. And then after that, CM Punk started, and they said, "Wait, we're going to sign from the indies now," and TNA was screwed. So then they said in 2006, 2007, wait a minute, they're only signing models and stuff. We should start signing the top indie women on this one and have good wrestling. And it worked. And it worked. Then they signed Paige and Emma and started to sign indie women. And TNA was back at square one again. And then they said, wait a second, we should just go with the only market inefficiency we have where there's two members of a couple, and one half of them is absolutely radioactive to WWE, and they'll never sign them. And then WWE signed Mike and Maria Kanellis, and TNA said, "What the hell?"
Yeah,
Well,
TNA.
the writing was on the wall with, and I still love your VLMP, but the writing was on the wall. It wasn't Mike; it was Maria.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. It's and what we're seeing, but I do want to also to say, because I know Tessa's sometimes a touchy subject, but a lot of their programming did turn around when she got on television.
True.
And I do want to give her props because
true. And that's undeniable.
Tessa has that gravitas. It isn't. She's not there just because of that last name. She carries herself well. She has pretty good matches. She can carry herself on the mic. She is a star, and that Knockouts division needed a what's the word I'm looking for here?
A top face.
Yeah, they needed that face. They needed someone to be that face for them.
They needed someone face or
heel.
Well, I guess. Well, I looked at it too much as wrestling face and heel, but they needed somebody, and Ring of Honor desperately needs what we're referring to as Tessa and Impact. Ring of Honor desperately needs what Tessa's done in Impact.
But there is also a problem on this one where it may not even just be Tessa if you look at the facts on these ones, because if you're saying Tessa in June, there is the problem where we saw the same thing in 2007 where everyone was lit up for this Knockouts division at that time because it was Gail Kim versus Austin Khan, and how great a match that was, and how great a series that was. And then you looked at the ratings, and it was, they don't care about Gail Kim or Austin Khan or anyone. They care about the beautiful people. And that could be a question mark, because do we know if this was they're all excited for TNA and coming back because of Tessa Blanchard doing it, or are they all just in awe of Scarlett Bordeaux?
Well, but I don't want to discount what Scarlett's bringing, because she is that great. She kind of gives you the throwback of the old pretty girl heel manager, even though they do stick her in the ring. But I think that is a good question. But I think with this time around, they have other actors around. Yeah. Tessa's a great grounding force. She's
and that's basically what you need on him, because the real answer, and a lot of people don't want to hear it, is you need both. You need the pretty girl who's going to get fans to stay on the channel, and you need the great wrestler who's going to keep them there.
And
in my opinion, and we'll wrap this up because Matt and AA haven't spoken in a while. But kind of like
I'm still here.
Oh, what? Oh, you're tipsy?
Yeah.
What you drinking on?
Pineapple and vodka.
Nice.
Oh, that sounds so good.
It actually is.
That sounds amazing.
But to me, real quick, and then we'll move on and just chit chat. For one, Matt and I have 6 minutes to go till New Year's, and I have to do the New Year's kiss and everything.
And I have an hour and 6 minutes.
I know, we're here for you. Don't drink too fast.
I already have.
Shit.
Whose dog is that? It's for once, it's not mine.
It's
not
mine.
It's not mine.
Matt.
Yeah, it's mine.
But
he's not ready for 2019.
Oh, he's gonna fight it with all his power. What kind of dog do you have again?
Mini Dachshund.
So a cocktail weenie.
Okay, if everybody else is drinking on this one, then this is my fault. I end up drunk for work on these ones, or at least slightly off on it, or at least just sleep till normal time for it.
Well, go ahead and say what you were going to say, because I had a Ring of Honor thing I wanted to bring up.
Okay.
I got completely sidetracked between shoot getting drunk, Matt's dog.
Well, then I'll just make my point real quick. In a year where women's wrestling has been very successful around the world, Ring of Honor has completely missed the boat.
They missed it last year too.
And it's
when they came up with Women's of Honor, like shit, man.
They had Deonna Purrazzo in their hands. They didn't belt her, and then they let her walk to WWE. Now, she may have wanted to go to WWE regardless and made that known to them. But the fact that you had Deonna Purrazzo and Tennille Dashwood in that Women of Honor tournament.
Yeah.
And neither of them
that up.
Yeah. And that was really the problem where Women of Honor has failed because of the same reason, and it's all the fault of that. They run it like the old era of things. There's no way around it. Delirious and BJ Whitmer, and thankfully BJ Whitmer's apparently fucked off to All Elite Wrestling, but Delirious should be fired on these ones. They ran the Women of Honor like a glorified love letter to their sweethearts. Everyone knew they did this, and all of a sudden, Women of Honor has held Ring of Honor back 5 or 10 years. Now you've got WWE gets first crack at all the indie women. And then after that, maybe maybe Impact gets them. And after that, maybe Lucha Underground gets them. And after that, maybe Chikara gets them before that one. And then maybe Women of Honor gets them.
That's it.
Disgusting for a top 3 promotion on this.
Yeah, it really is. Disgusting is an appropriate word to use with what they could have done versus what they did do.
And that's also not to mention if none of those women are good enough to get the call from Shimmer.
Yeah.
There is a competitive market out there for women, but that doesn't excuse Ring of Honor from completely botching their women's division.
Well, I'm not even talking about the fact that
for 2 years.
I'm not even talking about the fact that there is a competitive market on it, but on paper, Ring of Honor should be third at the nibble, but they're at the 5th, and it's because of how botched they had it. And it's not even just they needed a face like some Tessa Blanchard, or they needed Deonna Purrazzo to get strapped up on it. They got Neil Dashwood, the biggest woman to sign outside of the company on this one. And
the name, tag the name to Neil Dashwood, with Emma. Like, the name alone, like, obviously you can't call her Emma.
Mm-hmm.
But the recognition alone of, hey, that's Emma from WWE, that alone should have been something. And nope.
Yeah, and I won't give it those things on stuff like, yes, she did get injured, and yes, she had a flare-up, and as someone who has pretty bad psoriasis myself, I know exactly what she's going through on that one and know how bad it can be, especially if you're wrestling. But even then, Women of Honor got the biggest fish in the pond this year, and they turned her into nothing within a matter of months. And it was because Delirious and BJ Whitmer were terrible bookers who just wanted to make the division a love letter to Mandy Leon and Cody Klein. And that is, fuck those guys.
Shut
Fuck
those up,
guys
Matt.
in 3 specific ways. So hard, so bad, and wicked bad.
Real quick, because it's turning midnight here, so gotta kiss the old wifey.
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year to those who are just
because I still got an hour to go.
Yep. And also keep in mind that Cody did announce it at 12 p.m. Pacific time. There will be an announcement of AEW, so that's a pretty big there too.
Another year.
Yeah, the thing was that, and that also was one of the biggest stories of 2018. Now that it's over, is Cody Rhodes in the Elite booking and selling out the first major independent card, non-WWE card in 25 years, if not longer.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means for them in the future.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if what they have planned is sustainable.
Yeah.
But in that microcosm, they had one of the best years of anybody in professional wrestling. For that fact alone.
Yeah, and that's really the thing on it, because if All Elite Wrestling comes and they got some investors because it was a good investment from these ones, and how wrestling had been big with the big TV deals WWE got, but they're going to need to prove that they actually have booking skill. Like, you can get 10,000 people to fly into one city based on solely Bullet Club's having a party and Vince McMahon can't come. But if you're going to make an actual promotion, you need more than just, we're not WWE, cheer us. And we saw that with TNA failing for 16 years until they decided, we're WWE, let's do our own thing.
And just briefly, because we mentioned All Elite Wrestling, Apparently, from what it sounds like with them, there will not be a television deal to start off with. They're going to follow Billy Corgan's model and work with partners and everything, which is fine. Let's see if there's an audience and go from there. And that's another big story of 2018. The somewhat resurgence of the National Wrestling Alliance, or at the very least, the NWA brand.
Mhm. Yeah. But that's also going to be a little bit different because, at least with the NWA, they were able to succeed for this one because Billy Corgan basically bought two things when he bought the company. He bought the Houston Library and he bought a really pretty belt. And now he's basically gotten it down to, okay, the NWA has a cadre of good indie names. They have the NWA titles. We're going to book out these people, and that could work for NWA to stay relevant on the indie scene. But for All Elite Wrestling, I don't know if that's going to work because with them, you need to be in sight and in mind. And if you're going to leave New Japan and go on to the American system, if they don't do this, this could make the flavor of the month lose its fizz very quickly.
Corgan only bought the belt and the name. He did not get the library, just FYI.
Okay.
I think that still belongs to, what's his name? Bruce Tharpe.
I don't know. I think that some of the hidden gems were from Houston, so.
I don't know how much of the Houston tapes WWE has, but I do know the majority of what used to be the NWA network that briefly was around. It was those Paul Bosch Houston tapes that WWE did not have.
Okay.
With All Elite Wrestling, it's all about what they can provide and how quick they can provide it. You're not going to get along. Kenny Omega is great. Matt and Nick Jackson are great tag wrestlers. Cody Rhodes has found himself a spot where he can succeed. His wrestling ability is middling, but he has found a place where a niche where he can succeed. If they get Adam Page to come with them, great young star who's really hitting his stride. And we'll see what happens to him in 2019. But you're going to need more than that. And you're going to need to see what you can do out there with the other independents to help sustain you and help give you talent and everything. Because WWE's coming for somebody.
Yeah. And it's also going to be a problem because even with this model, Cody Rhodes may be more valuable than Kenny Omega. Hot take, I know, but Kenny Omega is the best bout machine. Can work when he's having great bouts with guys like Okada, Naito, Tanahashi. It's not going to work when he's facing Sexy Steel Storm in some VFW hall on it and expected to give him a 6-star match. And on the contrary, Cody Rhodes has the reputation of he can put on a 3-star match with anyone, but no one mentions he can put on a 3-star match with anyone.
Right.
And Cody Rhodes would be the type of guy who says, oh, this guy, I've got to work with him. I'll give him a 3-star match. And he can do that. It's just going to be a 3-star match, but it's going to be a good match nonetheless. And probably the best match that loser is going to have.
Right. You're right. But like I said, I wish them the best because that injection of more places for guys to work and for guys to get paid is better for everybody.
Yeah.
It will be hard because another development in 2018, I know this is kind of nebulous, but it's the idea of WWE's new independent partnerships. Progress, Evolve, ICW. The brief, we don't know the extent to which they have agreed to work with Pro Wrestling Noah still. WXW seems to also become a partner. The WWE is collecting territories. Wow, I can't believe I used that word, but I guess that's kind of what it is. they're expanding an umbrella for an international expansion, and like the way which we've never seen in professional wrestling.
Mhm.
I think this can be a good thing for the company if they use it right. But I think it could also be a bad thing for the company if they don't use these new assets to their full potential.
Mhm. Well, it does look like they're using NXT UK to its full potential because they are using NXT UK, and it's basically Progress meets ICW there. The questions about the contracts are questionable because it's going to keep guys in the same level that they were beforehand, and that's going to be a big issue. WXW to me sounded like it was like the story from hockey where the Boston Bruins really wanted Bobby Orr, but there was this junior hockey team that didn't want to give him the rights. So they just said, okay, we'll buy the whole hockey team, we'll take everybody, and we get Bobby Orr as well. And that seems like it was for them where it was WWE wanted Walter. They said, nope, we can't. I don't want to leave WXW. And they said, fine, we'll work with WXW and we'll get you. And Noah, I'm not sure if it's going to be a big deal on this one because that just reeked of now Michi Marufuji really, really wanted Kenta to be there for his match, and WWE said, yeah, Hideo Itami's not doing anything, so sure, he can show up for it. And they both agreed to do it. But if they did, that would help NXT Asia on it because you're not going to be able to get into Japan once you do and still get the aces of the Japanese companies. Japan is too built on loyalty to your employer. It's okay because pop culture in Japan is built on if you achieve success in America, you took on the world, and that's good. But in Japan, most people in the salaried position would rather die than jump ship to another employer, and the employer recognizes that. And so they would never get a good prospect from any Japanese promotion if they went into Japan.
Yeah, probably. But like I said, we don't know the extent of that relationship. So I'm looking forward to see what might come of that. What other relationships they might be looking to forge. I do know with the development of the Street Profits winning the Evolve Tag titles, we're entering new territory, basically, is what I'm trying to get at. So I'm looking forward to see what comes out on that front. But I have dominated way too much of this conversation.
Yeah.
There are other people on this podcast, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry I've taken up so much of the speaking time.
Yeah, that's the same thing on mine on it, where I never noticed how much of the conversation I dominate until I'm actually supposed to be this person who's supposed to be in a supporting role on it.
So, to either AA or Matt, please expound on something that you really, when it comes to really anything, that you want to focus on or in 2019 or you want to look back on in 2018.
Matt could go first.
Wait, what was it?
Just something you're either looking forward to in 2019 or something you want to look back on in 2018.
Becky.
Wow, I wish that wasn't so predictable. Okay, let's go down that path. Regarding Becky, where do you want to see her go from here, knowing that she's probably going to be in that Mania main event?
I wanted the main event Mania, honestly. Like, I think after really just kind of the past few months that she's had, becoming the most over woman on the roster, I think she's earned it. I really think she's earned it. And not only that, I wish that she gets an actual reign with the title.
Okay.
Not something that lasts a couple months or anything like that. I'm talking like a good solid 5-month reign.
Okay, going to the same thing on this one, which was kind of related on it. Basically, we can all kind of accept that she's going to main event Mania, and that's probably going to happen. After this, what would you want Becky Lynch to go from there? After, say, they give her 5 months of a reign, what would you want to go from there for Becky?
Honestly, after that, I don't know. Probably just like maybe like an upper card feud or something like that, or just kind of keep her around because I think she's too valuable to just kind of waste, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Because the natural crescendo for Becky, the high point now is Mania.
Yeah.
And that's probably going to be for either the Raw or SmackDown title.
Yeah.
Most likely Raw. So if she comes out of Mania with the title, to me, what you have to do after that is make it last till SummerSlam.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the next big thing. Becky's so big now, her beats per minute, so to speak, but her I'm trying to make it a musical context, but her major beats have to happen at major shows.
Mm-hmm.
Liza Brown,
Because- What?
What?
I don't think Liza Brandu will be the one to unseat Becky Lynch, so.
Hey, crazier things have happened.
Mm-hmm.
But in all seriousness, like, and this goes back to the Oscar streak and the Goldberg streak. Like, the best thing they could do is Ronda lose
Mm-hmm.
a match.
Yes.
That's the best thing they could do.
Ronda has to have her shoulders to the mat. 1, 2, 3. At
Yes.
Mania. At Mania. Not
It was,
the pay-per-view before, like Charlotte. Which meant nothing in the end.
yeah, the Bailey pinning Charlotte thing was
But
for one, they hyped it up too much. Of she's undefeated at pay-per-views. Bailey winning was okay, and then turning right back around and Charlotte beating Asuka at WrestleMania. Like, so what was the point of 2 months ago?
like the whole build, the whole street. With Ronda, Ronda has taken some beatings and really had low moments as a character. But that her losing on that stage will make Becky, because it has to be Becky, whether it's a singles match or a triple threat, Becky has to beat Ronda.
I think I said this a couple of days ago about Wing and you switching, or Wing accidentally logging in on your account. I think you and Matt might have account switched or something.
Is the thing messing up?
Yeah.
But it's been but that's basically what my point is. When it comes to Becky, I know you're so excited about this, Matt, because seeing Becky at Mania is going to be in that spot is going to be earth shattering.
Mm-hmm.
But the point I like being
Yeah,
heard.
can we
It's the 6
exclude
months.
Becky's name from that, and just if they do go through with women main eventing WrestleMania,
Yes.
like I don't give a shit who's in the main event. If it's women main eventing and the show per se, like that's a win.
That's the big win. And that's what.
Well, I don't know on that one because The bigger difference is that right now, as we said, it's not just women have to main event. It's the fact that Becky has to main event because she's the hottest hand in the company. And it's the first time you can say a woman is the hot hand. And you have to run with this until you can't run with it anymore. And if you did something like, say, for example, Dana Brooke versus Alicia Fox in the main event of WrestleMania, sure, it went on last, but that wouldn't be
Well,
an event of WrestleMania. You have to make sure that not just women get the main event, but they deserve it. And right now, Becky versus Ronda unequivocally deserves to be the main event.
well, that your first part, you kind of went out of the spectrum. But I still, and I said this on 10 minutes after TLC went off, we're getting a triple threat main event at WrestleMania, and it's going to be Becky versus Charlotte versus Ronda. I even said it on the podcast. You heard it here first because we did a recap like right after.
I think the triple threat is what's going to happen, and it's probably narratively the right way to go.
Yeah.
And
Well,
if,
honestly,
if it does happen, you heard it on Violent Wrestling Podcast first, because 10 minutes after the match happened, like I called it. So,
But even in a triple threat environment, it still has to be Becky beating Ronda.
Yeah.
Because Becky has already beat Charlotte.
Yeah, it has to be because, and it's not like because the Becky fandom has gone out. Yeah, I'm going to do a Family Guy reference or Cleveland Show reference, and if you don't get it, then sorry. I'm outrageous. It's not about Becky being outrageous. It's about proper storytelling.
Yeah.
Charlotte winning, no. Ronda winning, no. Becky winning, yes. Just based on what you've gone through the last few months and going forward into 2019. There's no like Stan or anything like that. It's Becky wins.
Yeah.
And Becky not just wins, Becky actually pins Charlotte. Or Ronda. Because you cover so many stones with one thing. Becky wins. Becky gets the WrestleMania 20 treatment. Ronda, if she continues to go with WWE, she gets where it's not a streak anymore. It's okay, I lost. There, like, that's just the obvious answer is a triple threat. Becky wins.
Agreed.
But again, that goes to the case where there's part of wrestling is there's always going to be an and then, and that's going to be the question mark for Becky in this one, because if this happens, Becky should get the main event of WrestleMania, and then she should get a sustained reign with the women's title when she does get that. And then after that, where do you go from there? She's already had Becky Lynch the movie in Marine 6. She's already had the main event of WrestleMania. She's already had the long title reign. And it goes to,
excuse me,
you have her fight the men.
Can I juxtapose that momentarily for not just Becky should get the main event this year in WrestleMania. Women should get the main event. Whether it's Ronda versus Asuka, with what they have in WWE alone, just the women's division, they earned it a long time ago, but now it's time.
Mhm.
Vince, you don't listen to VWP. I don't care if you listen to VWP. WrestleMania 35 needs the main event with a women's match. I don't give a shit who it is, what stipulation, if titles are on the line. I don't give a shit. Women need the main event. WrestleMania 35. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Mhm. Yeah, but
So,
that still goes back to the juxtaposition because, again, it needs to be Becky Lynch main events WrestleMania in against Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair, and that has to be it because the big thing to remember on this is that the
Should
WWE is the one group of fandom on this one. Throughout anything else, you look at how Star Wars bombed, look at how Ghostbusters bombed, and you realize WWE is the only one where the fans themselves are telling you, give us more representation. We want this. Give us women as main event stars. Give us a black world champion. Give us a gay world champion. If you can find a great trans athlete, give us this person. We want as much representation as you can give us in the WWE. And that is beautiful. And it works because they're saying, you want this? We'll give you this. You want this? We'll give you this. And right now we're saying we want Becky Lynch in the main event. So
no. Back up for just a second. That's not really. Yes, Becky Lynch is forefront, but no. And what I was saying, it's not a. I want Becky Lynch in the main event. What I was saying, women. I don't give a damn who. The women. The women carried Raw, SmackDown. Women. Anybody. Any woman. Any matchup. Triple threat, 1-on-1, fatal 4-way. I don't give a damn. The women go on last, call a main event, whatever. It's not a Becky Lynch has to be main event. It's not Charlotte has to be main event or Ronda has. No. Give them the spotlight that since they've been tearing it up in NXT to now. It's not a. Becky Lynch is definitely deserving of the main event. She just the last few months has restructured the game in women's WWE wrestling. But it's the focus isn't that. The focus is okay, are we going to be serious about this shit? Are we going to be serious about women's wrestling or are we not? And if we're going to be serious about it, let them main event WrestleMania. No ifs, ands, or buts.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about Becky.
Yeah.
It's not about anybody. It's about women's wrestling.
Mm-hmm. But that's my point is entirely as well. If they said, okay, let's say that I'm the genie on this one that warps people's wishes on it, and you say, okay, I wish for women to main event WrestleMania, and the answer is, granted, Dana Brooke versus Alicia Fox is the main event WrestleMania, and that wouldn't fail because that match wouldn't deserve to be the main event of WrestleMania. It can't just be give women the main event. It has to be these women are not getting the main event because we want to be equality, yay, and things like that. It's got to be these women are in the main event of WrestleMania because they deserve to be in the main event of WrestleMania, and no one can question that. And that's
for instance, what if Alicia Fox was the one that accidentally broke Becky's face? What if, for instance, what if she was the one that would Alicia Fox versus Becky Lynch?
Honestly,
we're on the same side here.
Yeah,
but it's not.
And
You're
given the
you're
fact
kind of
that,
going on an extreme of random matches versus.
yeah, but that's the thing where we're on the same side, but it's about the fact that it can't just be women main eventing just to have women main event. It has
True.
to be women have to main event because there is no question this match is the main event. And no
Yeah.
matter where we put it on, this is the main event and it should go on last. And that's
And
the difference.
are some phrase in wrestling abroad, like wrestling all around, is they earned it. What?
Yeah.
Really earned shit in wrestling, but this is the one instance where you can use the women earned the spot. They
Yeah.
earned the WWE 2018 women's division has earned to main event WrestleMania 2019. They've
Yeah.
earned it. They've literally earned it.
Yes.
You know,
And
if
that's
you really
really-
wanted to do it, because I saw this idea just a second ago. Hell, double main event it. Put the triple threat in the top spot, right behind it. Put Oscar versus Naomi, or Oscar versus whoever comes up to make that challenge.
No, good because I'm sorry. As much as WWE and UFC and there is no double main event.
I'm saying have them be the last two matches on the card. Call it a double main event or don't, but have them be the last two matches on the card. is
Honestly,
my
But
point.
I think
What you want?
that should work where if you're going with a double main event, the most equal thing would be you have, say,
Put Undertaker versus John Cena as the cool down match between the two.
yeah,
That'd be
Fucking
funny.
yes, it would be funny and it'd be so right. Put a fucking big men's match between the two matches.
But sell these, but the underlying point here is
Put a huge match to going off of what you said. Have two huge women's matches. You know, the co-main events. Put
Make-
one on, then have what everybody's supposed to love, men's match, which would technically be the cool down match, and then have your main event. That would, I'm all for
yeah.
like a
But-
Triple H versus Batista being the cool down match between Oscar versus somebody for the SmackDown Championship. Cool down match being Batista Triple H, and then let's get to business and the Raw Women's Championship being the main event.
yeah,
I'm all for that kind of shit.
yeah. Let's have Batista versus Triple H in a 1 minute tuxedo match where the winner has to be stripped to their underwear for it or stuff like
Yeah,
that.
if we're gonna go, if we're just we're literally fantasy booking,
Mhm.
but yeah, like dude, Payback's hell.
Mhm. Yeah,
Karma is a bitch. Like fucking put them through that.
yeah, but
That's-
honestly, that's really the
Too
point
much of
there.
that.
I don't think they should make it
No fight,
where it's a karma is a bitch thing because
tear my
again,
throat
it
out.
boils down to
Screw
WWE is the one that's
and
done so well because they view it as equality, not supremacy. And they
Well-
realized what the others, all these other groups don't realize about some equality and getting inclusivity, and that's that men have to be on the same side too. Men have to be on your side. You can't just say,
That's all.
nope, you can't do it. You have to have everybody in it, and that means that yes, men get a seat at the table too.
You're right, and I kind of like went outside of my box. Even I have a box
Yeah,
with what I was trying to say, but like if you're gonna do it, and I'm not like squash men, feminist kind of thing
Mhm.
is what. But if you're gonna do that, like, but I'm not also in the camp of like tuxedo match or.
Mhm.
But if you're gonna go that far,
Mhm.
and when I say that far, because if women, which I think they will, if women wrestle at WrestleMania main event,
Mhm.
look at because they tell me every time I turn on the WWE network or anytime I play it, the WWE's been around for 60 years. So you've gone through some transitions.
Mhm.
Go through another one. And I don't like using the word, but shame the men. Shame them. Put them in some stupid fucking match, gimmick match, between a great women's match, stupid fucking men's match, main event match.
And
How does it?
honestly, I think that that's the problem on this one because, like I said, something like that can turn the WWE Women's Evolution, which is something that should be lauded both on the WWE side and on the fan side, into Ghostbusters 2016. And you don't want to go that way. You need to go with something that everybody's on the side. We want women in the main event because everybody, men and women, want women in the main event. Yeah, and part of that can't be like, men are all scum. This is your match. Now you're in these ones. You have to make it clear that we're not taking from you, men. We're giving to women. No, that is not mutually separate. You can give to women and not take from men. You still have all of this. Don't get mad because the women suddenly have these things too.
Great comparison of Ghostbusters being all women in 2016 because wow, was that for lack of a better word, fiasco.
Yeah, it was also a fiasco.
You make the Ghostbusters all women.
Well, it wasn't even just that. It was the fact that on paper, there's no problem with making the Ghostbusters all women. The problem was basically they engineered it as if you dislike this movie in any reason whatsoever, it's because you're a misogynist Gamergate rat job, and that's not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to.
And overall, anymore, you can't say anything against a woman. And I might be wrong, but I consider myself a person of color. I'm Indian. You can't say anything without it being misconstrued, like anything at all. But and that might have gone way too deep, but but there anything you do anymore is so scrutinized of like you can tweet like I farted. Well, we don't say fart. We say, and this is actually in my house because we don't say the word fart. We say toot because of Morse. But I said the word fart. Well, you're not supposed to say the word fart. The word fart is that's so egregious and so like everything is so scrutinized anymore.
Yeah. Well, it goes to the same stuff on these ones. Heck, even on the nightly, which is basically our home away from home on these ones, the very first things they said on this one were basically saying that Seth Rollins is just as bad as Louis C.K. for having the audacity to think Louis C.K. is funny. And that's on a place where people are pretty much sane.
Hey, you still with us?
I'm still with you.
You got 24 minutes.
I know, I'm waiting. I'm waiting.
How's that vodka and pineapple?
Delicious.
Nice.
Yeah, at least it's the bad thing on it. It was first off there was the okay, try and mix something. Then it was gin and Dr. Pepper doesn't work together. Then it was the oh shit.
You hush your mouth if you say gin and Dr. Pepper doesn't work together.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then it was the oh crap, I had some cough medicine. Well, I'm dead, so. But yeah, to try and go with these ones, big question on these ones. Just make 3 predictions. One normal one that you're sure is going to happen. One thing that you're about halfway not sure is going to happen. And one thing that you're reaching on, just to sit for 2019 in wrestling. Hey, what would be the thoughts on them?
Matt, I'll start. You start.
Mm-hmm. So a 90,
You're one,
50, and a 10.
Yeah. Matt, are you still with us?
Wait, what?
Okay.
Nice.
Like I said on it, 90, 50, 10 one. Make one prediction for 2019 in WWE that you're 90% sure is going to happen, one that you're 50% sure is going to happen, and one that you're 10% sure is going to happen.
90% sure Ruby Riott wins the title. 50% Becky main event to WrestleMania. 10%. 10%.
The Iconics win a match.
No comment. 10% Brock Lesnar leaves.
Please, dear God, can I make that my 90% before it's my turn?
Yep.
Yes.
Please, for the love of everything holy. Hey, what's your you don't have to stick to WWE, but what's your for sure thing, your middle thing, and your not so sure of thing that you think is going to happen in 2019 for wrestling?
Let's see, 90% Ruby Riott holds the title.
I
One or
love
the
you.
other. 50%. Atiba holds all the male titles to become the youngest to hold all the male titles.
Oh, damn.
And 10%, we never see Brock Lesnar again.
Okay, Adam, your thoughts. 90, 50, 10.
Okay. 90% sure Becky main events WrestleMania. 50% the Riot Squad will hold all the major women's titles, regardless of brand, at the same time. And my 10%, I'll go out on a limb on my 10%. 10% chance of happening. Vince McMahon cedes full-time control to Triple H over the WWE.
Okay, Mox, you're 90, 50, 10.
Ah, shit. Damn it. Well, I wanted to elaborate on Adams a little bit. Or,
Okay.
well, I'm trying to buy some time here. My 90% for 2019. Shit. Damn it.
I threw you
Adam,
off on the last one.
you and I are too close. Damn it. And even like unfriending you and losing your number is not going to help because you and I think too much alike.
That's why I'm going to a therapist.
You shut your mouth. 90% women will main event WrestleMania. 50% Tony Storm, shut your mouth. Tony Storm will be a bigger name than she already is. Tony Storm's going places. 10%. Shit.
Walk out on that limb, Mox.
Mm-hmm.
Coming out of WrestleMania, somebody other than Brock Lesnar will be Universal Champion.
Okay. And since everybody had done theirs, my 90, 50, and 10. 90% prediction. At the Superstar Shakeup, the Iconics will be a member of the Raw roster. 50% shakeup.
Oh, you threw yourself softballs. Come on now.
Well, that's what the 90% is for softballs, so.
No, you went like way like 150%.
Yep. 50%. Okay, you want the 50% one for this one. 50%. All Elite Wrestling will steal New Japan Pro Wrestling's Access TV deal in 2019. How's that for a non-softball? And then 10% at Tables, Ladders, and Chairs 2019, Roman Reigns will wrestle.
That's on the web, man.
Yep. Told you that it wasn't just I could make a real softball, but for the 50 and 10 it would be bigger.
Speaking of Roman, should we now delineate on that topic?
Yeah, let's because I said before that. Yeah, let's go ahead and get into the shit we don't want to deal with. I'll start with, since this is anniversary and kind of a year-end thing, and I know AA's not shy about it. AA, if you know AA, she's not shy. Yeah, I hear you.
Pineapple and vodkas.
Yeah, that really makes things a lot better.
Alcohol, good. Deep breath, and I'm literally taking deep breaths and taking deep breaths. 2018, and we're going way out of wrestling here. Was very rough on AA and myself. We both lost our moms this year. AA lost her mom January 4th. I lost my mom March 13th. And so, if you don't know us, if you're just stumbling upon this podcast, the fact that Ambrose, Ellie, and I have figured out a way to smile, to talk. It's been it's been a rough year on us both. Thankfully, AA still has her dad. But,
and my dog.
Cassie. And I'm on the other spectrum. I have too many damn dogs. But personally, like, yeah, it's been a hard year for both of us.
And then
And
hearing about Roman Reigns, that just,
yeah, and then to top it off, like you get news of leukemia and cancer, and A and I have talked about this. A, can I use your shoot name for a minute?
sure, I don't mind.
And Julia, you and I have had so many conversations outside of on air, and when it comes to this kind of stuff, like it's so hard to talk about, but at the same time, you and I have been there for each other talking about it because that's what to do. Like, I've called you, you've called me. And I pray that Roman, I don't even care really if Roman comes back to in-ring performance. I just want I want Joe Noah to get well. That's all I care about. I don't give a shit if he ever steps foot in a ring. Music hits. I don't care about any of that. I want him to be well. That's all I care about.
We have never. First of all, coming off of that, as you all know, our condolences are always with both of you
Thank
for
you.
your personal losses. Thankfully, that wasn't 2018 didn't hit me on that manner. Thankfully, but watching Raw and seeing that announcement absolutely had a profound effect on myself, not only as a fan but as a human being. That is something that irrevocably shook a lot of people.
Yeah. And like I said on the one of that week on this one, try being there on it. I will always remember seeing that moment in live on this one. I will remember how
When he was there live,
was going back to the Uno Connected to the Dunkin' Donuts Center just for my post wrestling meal for it. Driving there and just being in a daze, getting back from the dunk back home, and just being, did I just see what I thought I saw? It was like I was living in a dream. The only other time I felt like that I was living in a real life dream was the first day I was in another country to live for. And that was what the Roman announcement felt like live.
yeah, it was hard enough on TV, but you were in the audience.
Mm-hmm.
And
Can I soapbox for a minute?
Get up on the soapbox.
Hey, can I soapbox?
You get soapbox.
Matt, can I soapbox?
Sure.
Fuck you, all motherfuckers that make this out as a joke or a storyline or a work of how they use, oh, this is a way to get Roman over. Fuck you. Fuck everything about you. I care nothing about you. You are their scum of earth, and you're beneath that. Anybody, because it was out on Facebook, on Twitter, on any social media, on KSI Seats. Oh, it's a work. They just want to get Vince just wants to get. Vince has a hard on for Roman. This is a word to get Roman over. Fuck you. Fuck your mom. Fuck everything about you. You can fuck right the fuck off. This is not story. This is not something you play with. And they're definitely not as dumb as decisions that they've made. This isn't one of them. You don't fuck with cancer. You don't fuck with having leukemia. And fuck you for having a small-minded mind that thinks they would use this as a storyline. Fuck you. Fuck everything about you. Come at me. I'm at Fireman6809. My email is d.carter614@gmail.com. Come at me. Fuck you if you think that it's a joke that somebody not once but now twice has leukemia. Fuck you. Fuck everything about you.
Yeah. And we knew it was bad, even at the beginning of the year, from the Enzo Amore situation, where the response by people was, "Wait, Enzo Amore got accused of rape and they fired him? Quick, someone accused Roman Reigns of rape!" In those cases on them, once we saw these ones, I will reiterate: fuck you if you think that. Fuck you. Fuck your mama. Fuck your mama's mama. Fuck the Beastie Boys and the Dalai Lama. Just go fuck yourself. And once you do, realize it wasn't exciting and go to hell. You go to hell, and you die. There. Have a nice day.
What we witnessed was one of the most realist, saddest moments I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I
mean, there's Edge retiring. There's Daniel Bryan retiring. There's the memorial of Chris Benoit before we found out what actually happened. There's Eddie, and then there's Roman.
Well, just being there live, it also has the stuff where you actually knew how profoundly real it was just being there live, because remember, people hated Roman for his stuff on screen on this one. And when he started, it was a chorus of boos, because you expect it's just Roman Reigns doing another thing for it, and it went through. I will remember having to explain to the people in my section, this is why the fans are booing Roman Reigns on it. And then he hits that one and it's like stunned. But you see how it went from boo Roman to just a pin drops to thank you, Roman. Thank you, Roman. Because that's the moment you realize how real it was, that it went from these people hated him, and then by the end of it, everyone in the arena was on his side.
The transition happened with I'm Roman, but my real name is Joe. He flat out broke kayfabe character. My real name is Joe, and that's when, like, holy shit.
Let's take a look at it from the other side of the business. Typically, top stars don't. There's never an indefinite disappearance. When Hogan went away, you knew Hogan was going to come back. When Austin had to leave for neck surgery, you hoped he'd come back, and he did. Guys like The Rock returned eventually. This is different.
Yeah.
This is someone
Can we give Roman, go ahead and give Roman the top two promos of the teens? This is my yard now promo after WrestleMania. And I don't mean it to sound callous, but both most outstanding might not be the right word, but the most memorable. This is my yard now. Booed couldn't even speak for 15 minutes. Booed and just a few words. This is my yard now. And then after winning the Universal Championship and the leukemia thing, like those are.
Mhm.
Am I making sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That,
And honestly, going back to Adam's point on it, it was more real on those ones because even with the completely indefinite leave that we know that Roman's on, it's more indefinite when you realize the fact that if he may never come back, and if he does come back, things will completely change forever because at the same thing, and I hate it if it sounds callous, I'm worried on that one, but I believe Roman Reigns will wrestle again. I believe Roman Reigns will win the world title again because if he wrestles again, you kind of have to scrap him up on this. But I don't believe Roman Reigns will ever be the guy again. And it will be, unfortunately, because if you've had cancer twice, the medical views are you are predisposed to get it, and it becomes when, not if, you get it again. And that means that even if Roman comes back, I doubt he's ever going to be the man again. He'll be world champion, but he won't be the man.
The
Well,
guy.
the
it
guy.
was a guy anyway.
Yeah.
But
there's only one.
regardless of that, and this is where, and I don't mean to soapbox again. I don't give a fuck if I want to see Roman again. I want him to just, if he never wrestles again, I'm perfectly fine with that. If he shows up, I'll Rock showing up. I'm fine with that. I want this man to be healthy and recover from leukemia again. That's all I really care about.
His first job is getting healthy,
Yes.
and that's his only job for right now.
Well, and he has daughters. Like
He has a daughter and 2 sons.
Daughter and 2 sons. His 2 jobs, I should say, is to get healthy and be a dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what he needs to focus on right now.
Yeah.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to AA. It is 12 o'clock.
New Year to you.
At the clock it says
Right
12:59.
on the button. All
Happy New
right.
Year. I was waiting, and now it just turned to 1. Happy New Year, AA.
2019.
Mm-hmm.
Happy New Year.
It's
And Happy New Year. Yeah.
it's what we saw.
Not making any progress on this at all. Then I'm gonna suck water through it into my throat and spit it out.
It's hard.
Can't do any good.
to-
Hold on one
And the
second now.
directions say 2 or 3 sprays, and I use 2.
Well, now we know you only use one.
Maybe I'm allergic to that.
No, it could be you just don't need to use 2.
Oh, that makes me feel a little bit.
That's what I used to.
I did not know what this was.
Well, now you know
My
to use
bad.
1.
Right.
Hey, everybody, hold on a second, please.
It hurts like hell. My throat is ripped raw all the way down. I've used those lozenges for my throat. They help while they're there, but as soon as they're gone, it's right back to where it was. You have a good night's sleep, darling. And I hope your 2019 is better than our 18 was, because it was a booger.
I know he doesn't know me, but Let Dad know I love him.
I am so sorry. I thought that was her TV.
No, that's her dad.
Oh. If once I realized that, I felt terrible on that one, and I am deeply sorry for that.
Oh, don't worry, you didn't know, and
Yeah,
Dad just tends to pop up whenever.
yeah, because I truly believe that was your television. So
Nope, I've actually got that sucker on mute.
yeah.
Yeah.
What does he need for his stove stuff?
Oh, he's just 2 sprays of Afrin, just kind of didn't do his nose that good. So the drainage just made his throat really sore and everything. So he's taking lozenges for it and trying to rinse it out.
What are we gonna do from here for him?
Oh, we're fine. Thank you. We'll just deal with it as it comes.
I love that old man. You know I do.
I know.
He's like only talked to me like twice. Cause I always like think he can hear me and like love you, Dad, like all the time.
Hey, Ryback, going for a ladder.
But kind of where I was getting at. Roman's
Sorry,
it's fine. Roman's departure at the end of the day has created 2 things. A vacant hole no one was expecting. But for every hole,
real quick, did that come down to give you since your time it is New Year's? Did he come down to give you a New Year's kiss?
No, just to say Happy New Year's.
The same difference.
Because we actually made it. Now the Pacific Coast has got 1 hour.
And since Wing isn't here, we're all in 2019.
Yeah.
let me tell you guys, have we been in 2019 for 2 hours?
Nobody gives a fuck at him.
Not that.
I do.
Well, it's just the same as any other future one. Faster cars and slightly more polluted air.
Yeah. It's kind of good, but
And Trump's still in office.
Matt hasn't showed up for a while, but his chair just did.
Matt's chair.
Matt,
Opinions.
Matt, where are you at?
I'm still here.
Are you still conscious?
Barely.
But just in the wrap up on Roman, for his departure being what it is, indefinite in nature until we otherwise know. This is also an opportunity, and I know that might sound a little callous, but
Well,
someone has to step up.
Mm-hmm.
We're seeing someone step up in form of Becky Lynch, but that's a pretty big hole to fill.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you're seeing somebody step up in Mustafa Ali.
And that's something I thought about. I almost made that my 10%.
Yeah.
Mustafa Ali will win the WWE Championship.
That would be incredibly cool if it happened. So
They see something in this kid. I
yeah.
truly believe so.
Well, how can you not? I mean, I was describing him like that even on his early days on 205 Live, where it's if people didn't know what it was like, dude, It's Muhammad Hassan if they steered into the skid in 2005 after those vignettes and made the guy a baby face. How could you not see something in that? People had been longing for them to do that for 13 years, and they did.
I just want nothing best for the guy because he everything you see on camera, I think, is who he truly is. You see him all the time, pull his daughter out of the audience. It's adorable every single time.
Yeah, and that's where you get to the discussion of excuse me, sir. I don't want to use the word pigeonholed, but like, okay, these people are on 205 Live, but we're hopefully Mustafa Ali is the answer of holy shit, you're playing Texas versus LSU 14-7.
How close are we to drunk Mox?
You want now?
How close are we to drunk Mox?
We're quite a bit away. I just came inside and playing NCAA football 2012, Texas versus LSU. He's winning 14-7.
But as you were saying about Mustafa,
he's the stepping stone, and we thought this, previously, but I think now they're really seeing okay, this guy can be I use the word pigeonholed. Why did you not call a timeout?
but Mustafa Ali's more than a cruiserweight. Is basically what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Like the star, and it's not even like star power kind of thing. It's there's the line between like serviceable and pigeonhole. Like Mustafa Ali personifies. Do I know? Yeah. Oh, you are playing each other. Mom, are you playing as LSU?
Yep. I'm Texas.
Well, that's your fault.
It's not my fault.
No, I was talking to Mom. Sorry. We have completely digressed. Wait, do you remember like when it would be a thing of like cruiserweights and light heavyweight champion stuff? Like it wasn't just synonymous with they're under 205 pounds.
There was variety in the division.
Yeah, and then you get
Detroit or light heavyweight.
like people like Neville. Morris looked straight at me because that's his favorite of all time. Is Pac Neville. Who's your favorite wrestler you got for Christmas?
It's going away.
He finally got a Neville character.
We'll see. Feels better. Feels better now.
Yeah, the car's on. I'm in the house because I'm about to play a song. Thank you very much. I'm playing one song. Well, I got this from Granny of playing one song an episode. I've never, in a 1 year anniversary, I've never played a song. Never.
I'm surprised you
I
don't
want to play.
use the bathroom, so.
Okay.
So it's 2nd and 10. Ball on the 24-yard line.
You have to keep it idle.
Maybe. Would it hurt if I had one oxycodone to knock this pain down?
I know.
Well, if I just looked, it's 12 o'clock.
Kinda.
I'll just take the cotton at 3 o'clock.
Right.
Love you, Dad. Will you quit eating all my chips? That'd be great. You okay?
Oh, yeah. I'm just really, really tipsy.
Noise. Okay, by the way, I'll just go ahead and say it for Candace is pretty gone.
And I'm stone cold sober. What is wrong with me?
Well, Matt's probably stone cold sober too.
Yeah,
Yeah. Fucking straight edge bullshit.
yeah, but Matt has an excuse. I do not.
Okay, that begs the question: why the fuck on New Year's are you sober?
I don't typically get have desires to drink unless like I'm out. But when I'm home, I typically don't. About who I am, I know that's weird. Plus, I equate drinking on tonight, kind of like with the amateur hour. So it's everyone drinks on New Year's. So I'm kind of like, well.
I've been around your brother enough. Like, I would drink constantly if I'm home.
Trust me, I think about it more often than not.
Like, drinking wouldn't be the only thing on my mind.
Yes. Kind of want to quickly, we don't have time to go through all of them, but in 2018, we did lose some former performers that made a big impact on the business. And, I just want to highlight real quick, none bigger than Bruno.
Yeah.
Bruno Martino passed away.
Yeah, but for this one, if I may also give, sorry on this one, but this is the weakness of drunk reflecto or stuff like that. Or I'm so drunk I don't know what name you guys know me as. So, but yes, if I was going to it, the Afterlife Wrestling Federation that me and WWOR Duke or Andrew McHale do on it also does focus a lot on the full list of names, even before the big names for who had passed on this year as well. So,
but I did just want to throw a shout out to a few of them.
Yeah,
it's sort of a final requiem.
Mm-hmm.
Bruno Sammartino passed away this year. The predominant pillar of WWE, held the championship for 8 years. I can go down the list. Losing Bruno this year really felt like we lost a large chunk of history with his passing. Another one very recently was Dynamite Kid.
Turn your hotspot back on, please.
Dynamite revolutionized what we would now today call junior wrestling or cruiserweight wrestling. But he's truly one of the all-time greats. But there were just so many names to list, unfortunately. Again, Johnny Valiant, The list goes on once again, but I did just want to kind of say a couple names there for the ones that we lost, and hopefully they found whatever peace they needed in life before they left. But hopefully 2019 won't be so bad, so to speak.
I can't,
God, I missed
and
that.
I won't dare to speak on her behalf, but going back to the memorial thing, um, 40 years old, guess who got me into wrestling? My mom. My mom, of all people. Like we're talking like 1982, 1983. Would take me to live shows. And back then you literally had 2 channels, 3 channels, black and white TV. Like if we weren't at a live event watching wrestling in Houston, they had different wrestling you could watch on TV, and to this day, some of my fondest memories are we only had one TV, and it was a 13-inch black and white TV. And when myself and Madison, my middle brother, would get in bed and we'd snuggle up under the covers and watch wrestling when it came on. Like that was such a before Madison or I knew what kayfabe was, or we didn't give a shit. We were having fun watching wrestling, and Mom was the culprit's not the right word, but the initiator of. She loved wrestling. And we're talking like Von Erichs, like even before the Von Erichs. Like that's just to be honest, and I know we're live and I don't really care because it's the truth. Mom did like non-for-profit things where she got paid like literally dimes on the dollar for helping, and Mom saved money for going to see wrestling or stuff like that, and like AA, this is my first year without Mom. It feels weird, and I'm trying to correlate it with wrestling stuff, and I really can't because there's so much more. But 2019 is upon us, and every year from the 70s or a little before in AA's case, every year we've been, Mom's always been there, and this is a year that milestone's a bad word to use. But yeah, there's no. Yeah, it's a happy and sad kind of thing, if that makes sense at all.
Hmm.
Makes lots of sense.
Yeah.
Did want to throw out a couple names that I forgot that I felt like was worth mentioning. Leon White, Big Van Vader, lost this year. That one sucked. Losing Vader sucked because I think they missed an opportunity to put him in the Hall of Fame when he was alive, like they should have done. But so that one kind of sucked. But Vader, Paul Jones, sad one. Matt Capitelli finally succumbed to his brain cancer this year. So that one felt like a little bit of time coming, but you didn't want to see it happen, obviously. Brian Christopher's untimely passing is another one that was.
Yeah, and aren't they still investigating how that happened?
Some are saying a suicide. I don't know if that was the final call on that, but
Yeah,
yeah.
the initial thing was suicide, but didn't they reopen? I don't know if it's close enough to say reopen, but aren't they still like something was wrong with the Brian Christopher death?
I know that was mentioned. I don't know what the final outcome was.
No, do I.
Nikolai
This is where-
Volkov. Yeah, that on Brian Lawler, that's one of those things where you don't know if you want to know, but having clarity would be great for not just the family, obviously, for wrestling fans, just to know what happened. Nikolai Volkov passed away. Jim Neidhart passed away, as we all know if you've been watching WWE TV recently, which goes down to one of the worst promotional tactics of the year. Using Jim Anvil Neidhart's death in a televised feud. That's always.
Will you either mute this or pause for a second? Please. Yeah.
Dick Slater.
Yeah, Dick Slater. A lot of newer, excuse me, newer fans wouldn't know Dick Slater, but yeah, Dick Slater is one of those that it made kind of hard.
Dickie Slater was a constant on Mid-Atlantic TV. Jose Lothario passed away, and obviously the most famous for being Shawn Michaels' manager and trainer. Like I said, Dynamite and Larry Hennig. Larry Hennig passed away towards the end of the year here, and there are many more names, and I'm just highlighting some of the more well-known for some of the people out there. But when this stage of life comes, especially in wrestling, it always makes you pause and think about on the times that these guys had, whether you were alive for it or not. And when you lose it, you hope they're on tape. And you hope that there's still some of that footage of them there. Because when they go,
Get off the chips.
The stories go, that legacy goes. You hope that there's a way to keep that tradition on, that oral tradition, so to speak. So
Knock it off.
It's the in memoriam section, so to speak. I just wanted to give those guys their due. But I'm done with the sad subjects.
Let's get
Well,
to something happier.
heavier.
Happier.
Oh, I thought you said heavier. And Julia, I'm sorry. I really am. And you know me. But if you don't mind, with it 2018 coming to a close, and hopefully it is.
He is already.
I know it's already 2019. Thank you, Morse. And I've never done this before, and people have. I'll take a song break real quick and play a song. And this is for you, for myself, for people here, and for moving forward kind of thing, if that's okay with you.
It's fine with me.
Okay. So, here we go.
Another turning point, a fork stuck in the road. By the rest direct you where to go. So make the best of this test and don't ask why. It's not a question, not a lesson learned in time. It's something unpredictable, but in the end that's right. I hope you had the time of your life. So take the photographs and still frames in your mind, hanging on a shelf in good health and good time. Tattoos and memories and days on trial. For what it's worth, it was worth all the while. It's something unpredictable, but in the end it's right. I hope you had the time of your It's something unpredictable, but in the end it's right. I hope you had the time of your side. Something unpredictable, in the end is right. I hope you have the time of your life.
Thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. My dad.
Elmo and Shadow.
Oh, dear, what's happening?
Hello?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Gee, everybody said the same thing at once. Sorry.
Yeah. For the reference on them, the usual way to make sure on it is to keep it a little bit checked on it and have the YouTube video played while the song's playing as well. At least that's how we do it. So.
Just be honest. And this is I'll be blunt.
Mhm.
I don't really give a shit about any of that except for this was from me to Julia.
Yeah, I know. Just in case you ever do it again. So, for them just to know how to handle it. So.
You get that, Matt?
What?
Another thing, I was doing like 5 things at one time. So, love you.
Love you too. I love everyone. Even the shadow.
Oh, screw off, Shadow. Piece of crap dog. Yeah, even more. She's like crazy dog. I will ship them to Wyoming. Like I'm not even scared. Like they make packages for breathing holes and stuff.
Baby.
He'll make it.
Oh, it's just killing me. Isn't this a hell of a way to start your new year?
He just sat on Cassie's legs.
Oh,
and
I did.
I was so happy. I was leaving the year of sickness. 18 was death and sickness. And now here I am starting the new year in terrible shape.
You didn't have a chance, Mom.
You're gonna be okay, Dad. I think with that we'll go off air.
Yeah.
Good a time to wrap up as any.
Yeah. And at least that's the thing. If it was 2018 was a bad year personally for a lot of us and professionally for it, but that tomorrow's another year, and hopefully 2019 will be better for everybody.
Amen.
Do you just want to wrap up?
Hey,
Yeah.
you want to call it a do?
Yeah, because I'm getting ready to pass out.
Okay.
I'm here.
The vodka and pineapple usually win in the end.
Yeah, I know. It does a number on you.
Yeah, I already
But
feel.
it tastes good.
Yeah, I feel so awkward. I kind of need to go on this one while people still like me. So.
Since when did that start?
Wow.
When do people like you?
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Love you guys. Thank you so much.
No plugs tonight, everybody.
Yeah.
So,
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to everyone involved. Happy New Year to everyone out there.
Happy New Year. Except
Happy
you're
New
Hawaiian. You're still like hours behind. Fuck you guys.
Yeah.
But you
And-
still got about 24 minutes on the Pacific Coast.
And also in this one, if a wrestling fan's on, it is 24 minutes until the Elite finally announce what everybody knows they're going to announce. So,
Let them.
yeah.
Let's hope let's kick 2019's ass, everybody. All right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Good night.
Peace. Love you, everyone.
Thanks tomorrow. Or later. Good night.
Bye.
One of them things. Bye, Morris.
Bye,
Bye.
Morris.
Happy New Year, Morris.
Happy New Year.
Mhm.
And